सूरज सूरज की तपती
associate themselves with my models for semi-marketing, eco-friendly marketing. Young officers, young men, young women of India, they are welcome. And I will give you my email ID and mobile numbers. Just now, if you want to note down, please note down jalgurumodi@gmail.com. JALGURUMODI@gmail.com. Mobile number is 9451068894. मोबाइल नंबर दोहरा रहा हूँ 9451068894 94,510,688,94। ये हमारी मोबाइल नंबर हुआ। तो क्योंकि हम लोग अब उस मार्केटिंग की दौड़ में नहीं हैं, हम लोग मॉडल्स कर सकते हैं, हम सुपरवाइज कर सकते हैं, क्वालिटी कंट्रोल कर सकते हैं। मार्केटिंग के लिए हमें यंग लोगों की, स्टार्टअप्स की ज़रूरत है। थैंक यू।
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. What? Yeah, the Honorable Chief Guest is here because he had to travel nearly more than 200 kilometers for this occasion. They started early in the morning. He is here now. He will be grace the occasion in another 1 or 2 minutes. మరి అక్కడ ఒక 2 చైర్లు ఖాళీ చేయిస్తారా సార్? కర్పూరం వచ్చిందా? morning again. Water is life. Life is water. And I consider it my privilege to offer my Aadhar pranams to this divine congregation of eminent environmentalists, Green Brigade warriors, luminaries of nature, social scientists, engineers of high repute, water activities, ambassadors of regeneration of rivers, among others, who have all assembled here from the vast expanse of the motherland for this cosmic event. The two-day event is a mega multi-star studded gathering, a first of its kind, and definitely would define the vision for the future. This resultant culmination is because of tremendous hard work who have burnt midnight oil by the team motivated by the chairman of Telangana State Water Resources Development Corporation and Indian Peninsular River Basins Council. Please put your hands together to invite Sri V. Prakash ji to the stage. V. Prakash ji, please come on to the stage. A big round of applause, please. He deserves a fitting salutation for staging this thing. At the same breath, I invite Sri Dr. Rajendra Singh ji, Waterman of India, mentor and a catalyst for water warriors. Please give him a big round of applause, please. Now, I have the honor of inviting guest of honor, Dr. ISN Raju ji, FIE, Council Member IEI. Please give him a big round of applause. He is also an expert in water who had been associated with the past 50 years. Please, round of applause, please. And today's chief guest, Sri Singireddy Niranjan Reddy ji, Honorable Minister for Agriculture and Cooperation, Telangana State Government. I request Engineer T. Venkatesham ji, Telangana Engineers JSC Chairman, and Ramna Nayak Banotu ji to please escort the Minister to the stage. Please give a big round of applause, please. From the backbenchers, I need to hear a lot. Come on, thunderous applause. And also I have the privilege of inviting Dr. Miss Indra Khurana, Chairperson, IHRBC, Indian Himalayan River Basins. Dr. Khurana ma'am, please give a big round of applause to the woman. First. Invite her. Also I invite Mereddy Shamprasad Reddy ji, Chairperson. Madam Anna Venkana, Madam Madam receive cheskondi, please. Krishna River family, Mereddy Shamprasad Reddy ji, please come onto the stage. Give me a big round of applause, please. For every participant, they have devoted their lifetime for rivers. Please, your turn also will come. We will give you a big clap. Engineer Z. Srinivas, Director General Voluntary. Z. Srinivas, are you here? Please come. Engineer Ramna Nayak Banotu, immediate past chairman, IEI, FIE, chairman R&D. Engineer Dr. G. Rameshwar Rao, Director General, ISKI. Please give me a big round of applause, please. Mic काम नहीं कर रहा साहब? जी. Okay साहब, okay साहब, ठीक है. Thank you very much. Thank you for correcting me, साहब. Engineer Goli Damodar Reddy ji, President Telangana Retired Engineers Association, who is also associated with waters, river waters and all that for the past 50 years. Goli Damodar Reddy ji, please come on to the stage. Engineer Murray Ramesh, Convener, RDF, Rural Development Forum, IEI, Institution of Engineers, Engineer Murray Ramesh, please come on to the stage. Engineer Shankar Prasad ji, Water Management Forum, please come on to the stage. Thank you. Engineer M. Bharat Bhushan Garu, Carpet, Engineer M. Bharat Bhushan ji, please आइएगा सब. Please come on to the stage. Please give a big round of applause to Engineer Bharat Bhushan ji. And Shri M. Sandeep, TITA President, Shri M. Sandeep, Young Turk, please come. Yeah, they are really big warriors, because we are all motivated by Shri Rajendra Singh ji and Shri Prakash ji for bringing this. Please come onto the stage. Now I hand over the proceedings for further deliberations. I hand over the batons to Shri V. Prakash ji. Prakash sir, please.
Welcome to all. Respected Waterman of India, Dr. Rajendra Singh ji, and respected Honorable Minister for Agriculture, Marketing and Cooperation, my old friend, 45 years friend, Neela Niranjan Reddy garu. Neela means Pani, water Niranjan Reddy. Inka surname badal gaya. People have changed his surname from Sigireddy Niranjan Reddy to Water Niranjan Reddy. That shows his hard work, how he bring water to the drought-prone areas of Mahbubnagar district, where 500 millimeters water is there. So, when he was student, I was also 1 year senior to him. We fought for the rights of the students. When he was in the advocate profession, he fought for the rights of advocates and legal justice. When we started Telangana movement, he was in the forefront. He was the first man to join with Honorable CM K. Chandrasekhar Rao ji. So since then, he is a very active leader and dedicated, people interested leader. Particularly, he will respond to any person, he will respond to any problem. He will try to solve the problem. Because of his efforts, almost 50 migrated labor. They went to so many distant places. Dubai, Burj Khalifa was built by the labor belongs to his native place. And so many industries, it's not a time to clap, because they didn't have food and they went to abroad and they get hardly meager income and they worked for the Burj Khalifa. And the migration from Mahbubnagar to entire world, particularly Bombay and other places. So now because of our Honorable CM's vision, and executed by our Honorable Minister Niranjan Reddy garu, now all the migrated labor returned to their places now. They are all settled in their places. Earlier it was only 1 lakh acres irrigated by the tanks and only one project Zurala. But now we are giving water to 10 lakhs acres in last 7 years. So every labor came and he is very proud of our government and proud of Niranjan Reddy garu, and they are cultivating their own lands. And the migration is coming from distant areas of Karnataka, Gangavati, Raichur and other areas to Mahbubnagar now. The rivers migration has started and people migrating to this place for as an agriculture laborer. And next I want to introduce Indira Khurana ji. Everyone knows, because she is the chairman of Indian Himalayan River Basin Council. She is Dr. Indira Khurana. So myself and Dr. Indira Khurana, we both are organizing people on the river who are working on the rivers, river rights, and because river is doesn't have voice. So we are the voice of the river. I am requesting all of you, all of the water warriors, all of the representatives from various states, almost 27 states represented here. People have come from 27 states. Even Northeast, Meghalaya, Manipur, except Sikkim, Arunachal Pradesh, every state is represented here. So I am appreciating all of you. We should all work on the rivers under the banner of Himalayan River Basins Council and also Indian Peninsular River Basins Council. I am leading that Indian Peninsular River Basin Council under the dynamic leadership of our mentor and Waterman of India, Dr. Rajendra Singh ji. I didn't tell more about him because the time will come to say more about him, because he doesn't require any introduction. Everyone in the hall knows about Waterman of India. And many other dignitaries on the dais. ISN Raju garu is a famous engineer in Andhra Pradesh. He worked in the designs department, most of his contribution in designs department and other projects. So he is from combined Andhra Pradesh, when he is from Andhra Pradesh, and he worked in the combined Andhra Pradesh when Telangana was attached to Andhra. And sir, he is the guest of honor today. And Mr. Rameshwar Rao Garu, in Engineering College of Institute of Eastki. So Eastki has provided accommodation. For his contribution, you can all clap because you have enjoyed the wonderful accommodation. You told me your experience last night is a wonderful accommodation we didn't get anywhere. So he is deserved for claps. So Mr. Srinivas Rao Garu is the voluntary Director General. I am the chairman for that institution, and he is providing training for the engineers and also agriculture employees who are recruited very recently. And so doing wonderful work by the voluntary. And Sham Prasad Anna, Sham Anna, many of you know about Sham Prasad ji because he is the chairman of Krishna family. See, all these positions given by Dr. Rajendra Singh. He appointed Sham Prasad Anna as the chairman of Krishna family. When we are in the separate state movement, we opposed many people in the other parts of the state. But now we are uniting the people to resolve the issues on the Krishna. There are so many issues in the Krishna. Since so many years, conflicts are there between Karnataka and Maharashtra and Telangana, and Andhra and Telangana, Telangana and Andhra. So now we have decided to resolve all these disputes in the People's Forum. That's why we have formed the Krishna family under the guidance of Dr. Rajendra Singh ji. This Krishna family was formed 3 years ago exactly in the same hall under the leadership of Dr. Rajendra Singh ji. And Ananta Ramluji is a well-known famous engineer, senior engineer in Telangana. He belongs to Telangana Retired Employees Association, TREE. And Professor Raman Naik is here. Damodar Reddy, sorry, Anantaram. Damodar Reddy is the chairman of Telangana Retired Employees Association. Yeah, and Raman Naik is a professor in JNU. He was professor in JNU. He completed his PhD there, and he is also worked in the Telangana Irrigation Department, and he is well known in Telangana Engineer Circle. His contribution is big, and there are so many organizations supported by us. Many people are there behind this stage. So I am requesting everyone to be here in the hall for next 2 days. It's a marathon session. So briefly I will tell you the program details. This inaugural session, we can hear ISN Raj Garu and Niranjan Reddy Garu, and introduction speech by Dr. Rajendra Singh ji. He will explain why this convention. What is the concept of Peninsular River Basin Council and Himalayan River Basin Council? What is the need of the day? Why we have to become a voice for the voiceless river? He will explain in his speech. And ISN Raj Garu will share his experiences and national level, his understanding and perspective about the river. And other leaders also will speak. Only 4 or 5 speeches we kept in. And we are inaugurating one website, that is Sujal Bharati website. And later we are releasing journal. I am the chief editor of the journal under the mentorship of Dr. Rajendra Singh, and all of them are our editorial board members. That Sujal Bharati journal we are releasing very shortly. And thereafter, inaugural session completed, then we can take up River Manifesto session. That session is confined to River Manifesto. All the leaders of IPRBC and IHRBC under the leadership of Rajendra Singh will speak on manifesto. So far, only political parties are having manifestos, but the time is come. River should have manifesto. I repeatedly saying, river doesn't have voice. We should all become the voice of the river. So after that, lunch session will be there. After lunch, immediately, that's 30 minutes only there. 30 minutes only for lunch. Immediately after lunch, you have to gather here. 6 hours, we are discussing on the Indian rivers. First session will be introductory session. The rivers concept will be explained by our mentor, Dr. Rajendra Singh ji, in the forenoon. Thereafter, Chief Guest Mr. Vinod Kumar is the Planning Board Vice Chairman of Telangana State. Earlier, twice he was elected as a Member of Parliament. He got the Member of Parliament, Best Parliamentarian Award in the Parliament, and he will come and speak. He will share his ideas. He will inaugurate one book here that was written by famous Chief Engineer from Tamil Nadu State, Mr. Ilangovan. He is very much here. His book is releasing today on this dais. And after that, Ponnala Lakshmaya Garu also coming. He was the major irrigation minister for 7-8 years for this state in the cabinet of Dr. Rajshekar Reddy. So he will also share his experiences of perspective of rivers and water, national level he will discuss. And after that evening, next session will be Himalayan Rivers. In that Himalayan Rivers, there are 3 Himalayan rivers, everyone knows. Those are 3. Indus River, that is we call Sindhu River. And next river is Brahmaputra and Ganga River. We can discuss 1 hour about these rivers. Later, we can discuss all the Indian rivers, peninsular rivers, as well as west flowing and east flowing rivers. Today's session is this, and evening, everyone should not miss the Ganga cultural program. Yeah, one team is coming from Varanasi. They will play the Ganga ballet. In that, how the Ganga was ruined and polluted, and what we have to do about Ganga. That message the cultural program will give. And tomorrow, I will conclude only in 2 minutes. Tomorrow, the marathon session from 9 o'clock to 2 o'clock, there are 14 experts coming from various parts of the country. Each subject is different. No one will speak on the same subject. 14 presentations will be there. Everyone will speak 10 to 15 minutes. You have to fill your notes, because you cannot get, after reading 1000 books also, you cannot get that much of information. Be ready with notebook and pen tomorrow morning. After lunch, immediately, the valedictory session will be there. Morning session, Mr. Jagdish Reddy Garu is coming. He is the Honorable Minister for Energy of Telangana State. And many other dignitaries also joining, like Sridhar Madhabushi is joining just now after 15-20 minutes. He is the expert in law. He is the former CIC, Central Information Commissioner, and now Professor and Dean of the Mahendra Law University. You can listen river and law. How Supreme Court and High Court are trying to protect the rivers, how the successive governments are violating the judgments and not implementing the judgments. And he will give the message what we have to do, whether to approach NGT or whether to approach Supreme Court. He will share the experiences of his legal profession. And later, valedictory session, one of our beloved leader, Mr. Harish Rao, will be the chief guest. He is the Minister of Finance and Health. 3 years ago, he inaugurated the Krishna family in the same hall, and Rajendra Singh ji loves him very much because of his hard work. And every person in Telangana loves him because he is the role model for politicians. Now, he is the founder of, one of the co-founder of TRS party. You can enjoy his speech tomorrow. And one more person, everyone is appreciating the policies of farmers because Agriculture Ministry is here. I cannot elaborate it. The inaugural function will start from Agriculture Minister, and the concluding session will be concluded by Palla Rajeshwar Reddy Garu. He is the chairman of Raitu Bandhu. Under his leadership, many schemes are implementing under the dynamic leadership of Niranjan Reddy Garu and Chandrasekhar Rao Garu, our Chief Minister. So with this I am concluding. I have given brief introduction of 2 days program. Thank you very much for giving this opportunity. And
Thank you, sir. Because time is of the essence. Thank you. You have really, because I know you have the capabilities and the oratory skills to speak for 2 hours. You have cut short. Thank you very much. Now, there would be Jyoti Prajwalna, followed by some symbolic watering of the plant. Then we are going to have National River Anthem, and the proceedings would be taken up by V. Prakash. Thank you, sir. The Jyoti Prajwalna and also the symbolic watering of the plant session is over. Now we have a national river anthem. This is rendered by Sri Shankar Mahadevanji. This is Namami Goda Foundation, and it has been dedicated to all the rivers throughout India by Sri Dr. Rajendra Singh Ji. Now please watch this. This is a really very wonderful, and I am going to tell you, after you watch this, you will be not the same person. You will be totally transformed person. Please.
बनकर न चले बात की बूंद बूंद में भूल ले
तू गोद भरे प्यास बुझाए हर तिनके की हम नमन तुझे 100 बार करें हम नमन तुझे 100 बार करें
गोदावरी हमारी माँ है प्यारे बच्चों गोदावरी को फिर एक बार अविरल और निर्मल बनाना है गोदावरी की अविरलता और निर्मलता उसके शुद्ध सदा प्रवाह से बनेगी और ये काम बच्चों से लेकर बड़ों तक सबको मिलके करना पड़ेगा जब माँ बीमार होती है तो बच्चे भी बीमार होते हैं हम अपने घर का सारा कूड़ा कचरा सब डालते हैं ये बाढ़ और सुखाड़ और गोदावरी में बहता गंदा जल
Shall we come back later if it is not ready? There is some technical snacks up. We will come back later for that.
सूरज की तपती किरणों से भाप बनकर न चले बादलों से नीर बन के बूंद बूंद में भूल ले
Small technical snack. We will proceed with the program. Now I request Shri Prakash ji to take forward the today's proceedings, please. Shri Prakash ji.
Thank you, sir. Ram Reddy Saab is very systematic and we cannot exceed your time, sir. So now I request Dr. Indira Khurana ji. She is just now I told she is the chairperson of Himalayan River Basins Council. So almost 20 to 23 states are in her jurisdiction. All the northeastern state, North India, Rajasthan, UP, Bihar, Calcutta, many other big states and small states. The Ganga Basin is having 12 basin states. So she is organizing people in those basins and she is very familiar with the basin issues, the problems and the challenges people are facing, the pollution, Ganga pollution and Clean Ganga project. She knows everything, but we have given only 10 minutes time. I'm requesting you to speak from the dais, please. Huh?
Please, round of applause to Dr. Puranakis. Please come.
Namaste to all of you, and thank you, Prakashji, for this opportunity and for the kind words that you spoke about me. On behalf of the Indian Himalayan River Basins Council, I'd like to extend a very, very warm welcome to all of you for this extremely important two-day conference that we're having on the rivers of India. This council, I will just inform you, was formed about 6 months ago on August 31, 2000, under the mentorship of our dear Rajendra Singh ji, Bhaiji. And like Prakash ji said, this covers 12 hill states, Ladakh, and also 9 states in the plain, so total 22 states. If we talk of Himalayan River Basins, then it covers an area of 22 states of this wonderful country. If we look at the kind of geography that is covered in the Himalayan River Basins, it's right from the high altitude arid desert of Ladakh to glacier areas, to valleys, to plateaus, right up to arid regions of Rajasthan, desert areas of Rajasthan, and ultimately also going into the sea from West Bengal. So along with this diversity of this wonderful country, we also have diversity of culture, of people, of ethnicities, of the food habits. So it's a beautiful range of diversity in this country, and different kind of rivers that exist in this Himalayan River Basin landscape. And if we look at that, why was there a need of the Indian Himalayan River Basin Council? The reasons are many, and I'm sure Bhaiji will also expound on some of the reasons why we need a voice for the voiceless rivers of this country. I think the one main point is, given the status of the rivers, you pick any river, you pick any state, Peninsular River, Himalayan River, the rivers are crying out loud for attention and our love and our affection. And we all know that the human flow is linked to the flow of the rivers. The health of rivers, our health is linked to the health of the rivers. So if we want to remain healthy, if we want our future generations to remain healthy, we must ensure that the rivers are healthy in this country. And we have doctors with us. We have Dr. Ravindra Vora with us, and we have various other people here. If we can just look at a circulatory system, how we have the artery and the veins in our body, which go from the heart and come back to the heart, right from the tips of our fingers and toes. Similarly, we have these large rivers, and we have various streams and small rivers that feed into these large rivers of this country. So it's very important that we look at the status of the small rivers and the streams, and also look at the health of the larger rivers. And it's quite strange when we know that 85% of our body is water, and we are not looking at the quantity and the quality of water that we are consuming. If we don't consume enough water, then it affects every organ, every system of our human body. If we consume polluted water, we have short-term effect, we have long-term effect, and we have intergenerational effect. So even our children who are not born, they are going to face the implications of the dirty and the polluted water that we are drinking, and how we have affected our rivers. We have something called forever chemicals which will never go away from the river. So really it's a cause of alarm, and that is why it's important that people realize and connect their action, their mind, and their heart with rivers. Our culture and spirituality, peace and security is also linked to rivers. So it's really important that we question ourselves. Do we want to just exist, or do we want to live a life where we realize our full capacity and we are able to live in peace, harmony, and security. It's also important to realize how rivers maintain the balance with the groundwater and how the base flows of rivers actually contribute to groundwater and vice versa. And I think the rivers that are revived by Tarun Bharat and other organizations stand testimony for decades now, how this balance is maintained between the groundwater and the river water, and which is sustained by the practices that we adopt. I think one major threat we all are aware of now is the threat due to climate change and global warming. It's also important to realize that the extreme events, how they are increasing in number and in intensity, and the very important role that rivers can play in kind of reducing the shock of these extreme events. If we don't have rivers, when we have a lot of rainfall, where will this water flow? And then after the monsoon goes away, there will be no groundwater. So it's very important to develop our own resilience, that we look at the healthy status of rivers. So the main work that our council is focused on is going to be linking the hearts and the minds and the action of people with the rivers in the Himalayan river basin. There is a lot that we can learn from the other council and also from the other river basins. And we believe in learning from each other, cross-sharing. And also what we would like to focus on water literacy and Jal Saksharta. What we plan to do is look at the small rivers, the large rivers. How can we raise water literacy? What is the kind of water yatras that we can do along these rivers so that the river is rejuvenated and also it's managed and taken care and nurtured by the communities who are part of the river families, which Prakashji has just spoken about. We also want to focus on documentation, so please do send us your case studies and the good work and the challenges that you are facing. That is a source of inspiration and further action for the others. We'll also be forming state-level council in a decentralized manner in the different states. So we are looking at what are the challenges, what are the practices that are there from the states, and looking at forming these councils from bottoms up, not something that is coming from the center council. Decentralized focus, and also focusing on our traditional wisdom, which has stood testimony for centuries in this country. I would like to end by inviting you all to our session in the afternoon. I would also like to invite you all to be part of a movement of the Himalayan River Basin, to come with a sense of seva and to offer your services to see that the Himalayan rivers are rejuvenated and remain in a rejuvenated state. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, ma'am. You are really time conscious. You have restricted yourself to the 10 minutes of time allotted to you. Please give a big round of applause to Dr. Indra Khurana, ma'am. Hardly 15-20 minutes behind schedule, but we'll make up. Now, there would be a book release, Sujala Bharati. This is a journal. Now, this would be every quarter, this would be coming out. Now, I request the Honorable Minister, Sri Singareddy, Niranjan Reddy Garu, Honorable Minister, to kindly please release the book.
Now I am requesting Sweta Jinjanwala and Mr. Venu Both of them have prepared the website Sujal Bharati. Yeah, I'm inviting both of them onto the dais, and yeah, I'm requesting Dr. Rajan Singh ji to release the inaugurate that website by pushing a button in the laptop. And Sweta ji, where is the website? There itself. Venu, please. Yeah, screen మీద వస్తుంది కదా, స్క్రీన్ మీద అడ్జస్ట్ చేయండి, అక్కడ సెట్ చేయండి. एक मिनट సెట్ చేయండి అబ్బా అది. యా దబావా సార్. और थोड़ा next. Yes, thank you. Claps please. Yeah, anyone can access with this website. No password is required. Sweta ji, can you speak a few words about this? Thank you, Bhai ji.
Yeah, kindly welcome Shweta Junjunwala, please. Please.
Thank you. A very good morning to everyone. Can you hear me? Yeah, okay. So I have the lucky privilege of working with Sri Jalpurush, Dr. Rajendra Singh ji, Prakash Rao ji sir, and Dr. Indra Khurana ji on the IHRBC and IPRBC Council. And I'm very thankful to work with them and also all the members of the councils to bring together our communities using technology. Everybody here in this room has been working on river rejuvenation and all kinds of work. And we have heard Dr. Rajendra Singh ji working on this for more than 30 years. I should say 50 years. But it's all scattered. We want to bring it together so that everybody can see what everybody else has done. And today, in today's day and age, we have the technology to do that. So we are going to be working with all of you to get the information from you and have it available to you. It is imperative that we leverage the current advancement of technology to accelerate our agenda and get our message and connect all the organizations together so that we can collaborate and assist each other in the rejuvenation of all India's rivers. One good outcome of the pandemic is that now we know that we can work without meeting each other. We can leverage technology and work can go on. The pandemic did not stop us from working. We had almost 28 districts of Maharashtra covered in our Nadi Ko Jaane program during the pandemic. And they had regular calls, they are still having regular calls across a number of river basins. So we would like to make sure that we continue this momentum that we've gathered, and we would use our website to actually post all the details so that everybody has access across the country. Yeah? Then we would also like to learn from the field experts and build a strong people network which can flow like our rivers flow. Like we want to rejuvenate our rivers, we want our network amongst all of us across different states, different river basins to work together. Yeah. So our first step towards this is building the portal, which is the website you just saw. We are going to build in future, we are going to give you an option to upload your own information as well on the website. All the projects that you have worked on, we will give you an opportunity to even upload your information so that you can share and collaborate with each other. This will become a one-stop shop for anything related to water. Starting with India, we would like to make it global. That's our ultimate goal. Because rivers are all connected. It is not just one state or one country. The rivers flow across countries. So we want to make this website such that it becomes one-stop shop for all data and information related to water. Yeah? We anticipate that in the future we will provide option for our partners, collaborators, and other information sharing through our website. What you will also find on the website is a copy of the book which has just been released, Sujala Bharati. So, yeah? Okay. Okay, all right. But of course, they've stolen my thunder because the website is also called sujalbharati.org. So that's just so you know, that's the website as well. Also from this website, you will hear from Dr. Rajendra Singh ji from periodic basis. We will have his messages so you can see where he's thinking at what point of time. You will hear about the events we are doing. So you will not have to call somebody and find out when is the next big conference. You will see on the website, this is where the next conference is, and let's go there. Let's support our team in doing what we're doing. Yeah? And finally, this portal is for you to share your experience. It'll be only as rich as you provide documentation of what you do in your river basin, your tributary. So I would encourage every one of you to send us material, to send us content which we can share with each other. That is a big request from all of you, because documentation is extremely critical at this point of time. We have work done, but we can't able to share with each other. So without further ado, I will hand over the mic to...
Thank you, Setaji. Thank you very much. It's a wonderful day because no organization in India earlier planned in such a way that having journal, having website, having cadre to work with the masses, to lead the movements, to lead the movement of legal under the leadership of Rajendra Singh. It is possible because of his vast experience from 38 years in Rajasthan and rest of the parts of the country. Thank you very much, sir. And yeah, of course, I stolen the journal because I am the chief editor of the journal, and with the permission of my editorial board, all the members are sitting in front of me. With the permission of them, I would like to speak few words about this journal. This journal is the people's voice for the voiceless river. I am repeating, the journal is the people's voice for the voiceless river. So I am requesting everyone to write articles, to write reports. We will translate it. Let the language is in any language. Let it be in Tamil, Kannada, whatever it language. Now Google Amma is there. Google Amma will translate everything. But you have to send in the word form. You have to send in the word form, whether it is Tamil, Malayalam, whatever it is. If you send in the photo form, we cannot do it. So thank you for this opportunity. And next, I am requesting our technicians to play the river anthem. Shankar Mahadevan is a very famous Hindi singer. He has given the music and he has sung the song. It was prepared by the guidance of the Dr. Rajendra Singh ji. They mentioned about Ganga, but it is the national anthem for all the rivers. Ganga is representing all the rivers. Thank you.
चट्टानों को चीर के बहती सागर की तू गोद भरे, प्यास बुझाए हर तिनके की हम नमन तुझे 100 बार करें, हम नमन तुझे 100 बार करें।
गोदावरी हमारी माँ है। प्यारे बच्चों, गोदावरी को फिर एक बार अविरल और निर्मल बनाना है। गोदावरी की अविरलता और निर्मलता उसके शुद्ध सदा प्रवाह से बनेगी, और ये काम बच्चों से लेकर बड़ों तक सबको मिलके करना पड़ेगा। जब माँ बीमार होती है तो बच्चे भी बीमार होते हैं। हम अपने घर का सारा कूड़ा कचरा सब डालते हैं। ये बाढ़ और सुखाड़ और गोदावरी में बहता गंदा जल हमारे जीवन के लिए बड़ा संकट पैदा कर रहा है। इस विचार को समझ के अभी आज से ही इस काम के लिए जुटना होगा।
लहू तू ही हो मेरा, माए तू ही भीतर मेरे, मैं हूँ एक रूप बस तेरा। तू बहे तू रहे एक बस ये लक्ष्य मेरा, तू बहे तू रहे एक बस ये लक्ष्य हो मेरा। वही माटी है, न लेती है ना पाती है, बस देते देते जाती है। निस्वार्थ तू है योद्धा तू, हमको विजय सिखाती है। तू रहे एक बस ये लक्ष्य मेरा, तू रहे एक बस ये लक्ष्य हो मेरा। नित्य हो यही हमारा लक्ष्य हो। तू रहे एक बस ये लक्ष्य मेरा, तू रहे एक बस ये लक्ष्य हो मेरा।
तो आइए हम सब मिलकर नदियों का सम्मान करें,
उनकी रक्षा करें।
Thank you. Please stop it. Yeah. Now the Mr. Manohar Manav, I am introducing. He is from Bihar. भाई जी के साथ उन्होंने बहुत नहर पे यात्रा किया था. He recently went on yatra along the banks of the rivers under the leadership of Dr. Rajendra Singh and very much presence of Dr. Rajendra Singh. He would like to release his yatra report and with the help of our Honorable Minister Niranjan Reddy Garu. Bring it, Amma. Yeah. Yeah, please. Thank you for releasing. The name of the report is Prativedan. मनोहर मानव जी उनका सेशन है आज आफ्टरनून वो जब उन्होंने एक्सप्लेन करेगा व्हाट इज देयर इन दैट रिपोर्ट. नाउ द टाइम हैज़ कम टू लिसन टू आवर मेंटर. He has motivated millions of the activists, entire country and entire world. He has visited more than 100 countries and motivated people on different countries. He knows only water. Water doesn't have any boundaries. Wherever the slope is there, it will go. Like Baiji also, he doesn't have a single place to sleep or single place to stay. Yeah, wherever the water goes, Baiji also, along with the water, he will go. Now I am requesting our mentor, Waterman of India, Magsaysay Award winner and Stockholm Water Prize winner, Dr. Rajendra Singh ji, to speak few words about this occasion.
Also, where there is no water, he makes water.
Yeah, Indra ji adding, where there is no water like Mahbub Nagar, Raichur and other areas, if he goes there, yeah, the water automatically you people will find. Rain also will come and also the rivers will flow. So you can take Baiji to your respected places where there is no water. Thank you.
मेरे साथ मंच पे बैठे आदरणीय भाई निरंजन रेड्डी जी और सब साथियों, दोस्तों, मित्रों, मैं सोच रहा था कि अंग्रेजी में बोलूं कि हिंदी में बोलूं, तो मुझे लगा कि यहाँ गंगा, यमुना, कृष्णा, कावेरी सब नदियों के बेटे बेटियां बैठे हैं, तो नदी की भाषा में बात करूं। और नदी की भाषा वो होती है जो दिमाग को नहीं छूती, जो दिल से निकलती है, अपने आप निकलती है। तो दोस्तों, मैं जानता हूं कि कुछ दिल से निकली भाषाओं की कुछ अपनी लिमिटेशन होती हैं, पर इस हॉल में बैठे भाई सब उस लिमिटेशन से पार हैं, जिनकी ना कोई पॉलिटिकल बाउंड्री है, ना कोई एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव बाउंड्री है। पॉलिटिकल और एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव बाउंड्री में जो बंधते नहीं हैं वो अविरल निर्मल बहते हैं। तो नदियां वही होती हैं। जब हम नदियों की डेफिनेशन डिस्कस करते हैं तो जो नदी अपने क्लीन कॉन्टिन्यूअस फ्लो में आजादी से बहती हो वो नदी होती है। पानी तो नहर में भी बहता है, फिर नहर को नदी क्यों नहीं कहते? व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस ऑफ द नहर एंड नदी? नदी आजादी से बहती है, डिसिप्लिन में रहती है। नदी अपना डिसिप्लिन कब तोड़ती है? जब ये इंसान लालची होकर उसके साथ छेड़छाड़ करता है, तब वो अपना डिसिप्लिन तोड़ के अपना रुतबा दिखाती है। इसलिए दोस्तों, ये हाल बहुत ही मेरे लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। 3 साल पहले हम लोग, ये हॉल भरा था और कृष्णा फैमिली का कन्वेंशन था इस हॉल में। तब हम सोच रहे थे कि अगले 3 सालों में भारत की सब नदियों की फैमिली बना लेंगे, पर हम फैमिली नहीं बना पाए, नहीं कर पाए। प्रकाश राव जी हमेशा क्लैरिफिकेशन देता है कि भाई जी कोविड हो गया इसलिए नहीं बना पाए। मैं उनकी बात मान लेता हूं, नहीं बना पाए। लेकिन दोस्तों, फिर भी हमारे मन में ये बात बहुत जोरों से उठ रही थी कि नदी की आवाज हम कैसे बने। नदी तो आवाजें करती हैं, जब नदी चलती है तो अपनी आवाज के साथ चलती है, अपनी आवाज के साथ दौड़ती है, लेकिन उस आवाज को कौन सुनता है और कौन नहीं सुनता? नदी की आवाज कौन बन सकता है और कौन नहीं बन सकता? ये जरूर विचार करने का वक्त है। दोस्तों, हम रोजाना अपने राष्ट्रीय गान में, नेशनल सॉन्ग में गाते हैं, जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे, भारत भाग्य विधाता। रोज गाते, और उसमें गंगा यमुना का तो रोज नाम लेते हैं, पर भारत के लिखित कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन से पहले भारत के लोगों ने नदियों को ह्यूमन टाइटल दिया था। इसीलिए भारत के लोग नदी को मां कहते थे। तब तक हमारे पास लिखित कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन नहीं था, लेकिन एक कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन था जो नदियों को मां कहकर, नदियों को मां की तरह देखना और नदियों के साथ मां जैसा व्यवहार करना। लिखित कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में नदियों के बारे में बहुत अच्छे से स्टेट की ड्यूटी क्या है नदी के लिए, को गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया को बाउंड किया है कि उसकी ड्यूटी क्या है। फिर भी हमें याद नहीं। जिन लोगों ने भारत में नदियों को मां की तरह देखा, हु रिमेंबर द रिवर इज ए मदर and who have the behavior and attitude with the river like mother, वो उजड़े हुए लोग पानीदार बन गए। वो डिस्प्लेस्ड लोग रिवर्स माइग्रेशन करके पानीदार बन चुके। तो इसका मतलब क्या? इसका मतलब ये कि हमारा जो एजुकेशन सिस्टम है, उस एजुकेशन सिस्टम में ये जो ह्यूमन एटीट्यूड है विद द रिवर, वो चेंज किया है। हमारी एजुकेशन हमारी नदियों को कमोडिटी की तरह देखना सिखाती है। हमारी एजुकेशन सिस्टम नदियों को इंसान की तरह देखना भुला देती है। जिस राज्य में, जिस शहर में सबसे ज्यादा पढ़े लिखे लोग रहते हैं, आपका पॉलिटिकल कैपिटल दिल्ली, यमुना गंदा नाला है। आपका फाइनेंशियल कैपिटल मुंबई, वहां की 5 नदियां थी, मीठी, ओसावरा, पसारा, दहीसर। बंबई के लोग भूल गए कि उनके पास कोई नदी थी। सरकार ने लैंड रिकॉर्ड चेंज कर दिए और उनको ड्रेन के टाइटल में दे दिया। वो ड्रेन थी। 15 साल पहले हम लोगों ने एक आंदोलन शुरू किया बंबई जाके, और सरकार को उनके रिकॉर्ड ठीक कराए कि ये नदियां हैं, नदियां नाले नहीं हैं, तुम इससे बच नहीं सकते, ये तुम्हारी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल ड्यूटी है। और सरकार को फिर उन नालों को नदी का टाइटल देना पड़ा। दोस्तों, मैं थोड़ा, जब अच्छी हिस्ट्री हो तो उसको याद करना सिखाना चाहता हूं। फिर इस सम्मेलन पे जो मुझे टास्क दिया है प्रकाश ने, उस पे आता हूं। इंडियन हिस्ट्री ये है कि नदी को हम मां मान के उसमें अपना मल मूत्र नहीं जाने देते थे। उसको हम जघन्य पाप समझते थे। अब कोई व्यक्ति नहीं बचा है जिसका मलमूत्र नदी में ना जाता हो। उस कुंभ में राजा, प्रजा, साधु, संत सब जाते थे, सब। और ये सब मिलके अच्छे और बुरे को अलग अलग करते थे। ये जो मॉडर्न एजुकेशन सिस्टम है, ये अच्छाई को बुराई में मिलाता है। ये सेपरेशन नहीं करता, अच्छाई और बुराई को एक साथ एड्रेस करता है। इसलिए ये पढ़े लिखे लोग अपना सारा गंदा पानी पवित्र नदियों में मिलाते हैं। हैदराबाद मूसी नदी के किनारे बसा शहर है। मूसी नदी कृष्णा की बेटी है, कृष्णा नदी की बेटी है, ट्रिब्यूटरी है। मैं इस सम्मेलन का परिचय कराना चाहता हूं। मैं कहूंगा कृष्णा नदी, तो जो लोग कृष्णा नदी के हैं वो जरा खड़े हो जाएंगे। कृष्णा नदी, कृष्णा रिवर बेसिन। Who is sitting in this house, they can stand up. Who is in the basin of Krishna river? जो कृष्णा नदी के बेसिन में है, वो सब खड़े हो जाएं कि इस हाउस में कृष्णा नदी के बेटे बेटियां कितने हैं? स्टूडेंट्स मंत्री साहब तो हैं ही, मंत्री साहब को तो खड़ा होना ही पड़ेगा। प्रकाश राव तुम भी, हु स्टैंड अप, हु इज द कृष्णा, कृष्णा रिवर, कृष्णा रिवर, कृष्णा रिवर, वेरी गुड। सो दिस हाउस इज dominating by the Krishna. You are Godavari. Yes, very good. Thank you. So clapping for the Krishna. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So sir, इस हाउस से मैं ये कहना चाहता हूं कि अगले 2 दिन हम जरा ये देखें कि जिस नदी ने हमें बुलाया है, हम कृष्णा नदी के बुलाए पर यहां आए हैं, उस नदी की आवाज क्या होनी चाहिए। वो नदी कैसे बोलने लगे कि राज, समाज, महाजन और संत उसकी आवाज को नकार ना सके। श्याम प्रसाद रेड्डी, यू लिसनिंग व्हाट आई एम स्पीकिंग? चेयरमैन साहब, यू आर व्हाट आई एम स्पीकिंग, यू अंडरस्टैंड? यू आर राइटिंग एंड नोटिंग, वेरी गुड. Very good, wonderful. He is the chair of our Krishna family. Very good. So now I am calling Ganga. Who come from the Ganga? Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Jharkhand, Bengal, और बेसिन ऑफ गंगा राजस्थान, दिल्ली, पंजाब, हरियाणा, उत्तर प्रदेश, मध्य प्रदेश। जिन राज्यों के मैंने नाम लिए वो लोग जरा खड़े हो जाएं जहां से आए। देखिए, गंगा 12 राज्यों की नदी है, 12 स्टेट्स, बट द लेस नंबर ऑफ द गंगा, द वेरी बिग नंबर ऑफ कृष्णा हियर। वेरी गुड, थैंक यू वेरी मच, थैंक यू वेरी मच। तो हमारी गंगा के 12 राज्यों के लोग यहां हैं और कृष्णा के 5 राज्यों के लोग यहां हैं। अब मैं आपसे जरा गोदावरी का नाम पूछता हूं। गोदावरी के कौन लोग हैं? गोदावरी, गोदावरी, श्रीधर तो खड़े हो जाएंगे, श्रीधर को मालूम है। यस, गोदावरी, हाँ, वेरी गुड नंबर ऑफ गोदावरी, क्लैपिंग फॉर गोदावरी, वेरी गुड, वंडरफुल, वेरी नाइस नंबर ऑफ गोदावरी। जी, स्टेट पर भी 7 लोग हैं गोदावरी से। Oh, so I can say the domination of the Krishna and Godavari both equally. Wonderful. Thank you very much. जी, कृष्णा गोदावरी बेसिन इस हाउस में सबसे ज्यादा है। कावेरी बी। जरा मैं कावेरी बेसिन के लोगों से चाहूंगा, आई रिक्वेस्ट टू द बेसिन ऑफ द कावेरी, तमिलनाडु, कर्नाटका एंड ऑल स्टेट ऑफ द कावेरी रिवर, एंड आई कैन रिक्वेस्ट टू द कावेरी फैमिली। यस, वेरी गुड। Guruswami, you can speak then one line, you can call to the family of Kaveri. Yes. I am behind the cameraman. I'm
Kaveri is also behind the politics of this country. All காவேரியை சேர்ந்த காவேரி கரையை சேர்ந்தவர்கள், காவேரி நதியை சார்ந்தவர்கள் எழுந்து நிற்க கூறுகிறார்கள். எல்லாரும் understand. All are standing.
Yes, very good. Thank you very much. So, हम अभी इस कन्वेंशन में कृष्णा, गोदावरी, गंगा और कावेरी, तापी, I am calling from a river, very smallest river in India, but the full-fledged basin, Tapi River Basin. तापी रिवर बेसिन, वेरी गुड। उज्जवल चौहान जी, अरे वाह, हाँ, बड़ी अच्छी टीम है। लेकिन बड़े क्रांतिकारी लोग हैं उज्जवल चौहान जी, वैसे तो ईडीबी में डायरेक्टर हैं लेकिन नदी के डायरेक्टर हैं, ये नदी के बेटे हैं ये और इन्होंने सचमुच एक डिसेंट्रलाइज्ड डेमोक्रेसी का आइडियल मॉडल शुरू किया है फॉर रिवर। 5 पाटिल, इनके इलाके का नाम है 40 गांव। 40 गांव में अपनी नदी गिरना और तापी, उन दोनों के बेसिन में अद्भुत काम किया है। जैसा मैंने कहा कि वो वैसे तो ईडीबी में हैं डायरेक्टर, पर इनका मन लगता है नदी में अपने 5 पाटिलों के साथ, उनको अत्यंत प्यार करते हैं। थैंक यू वेरी मच। इनको सुनेंगे बाद में कि ये कैसे काम करते हैं। दोस्तों, मैं बस 5 नदियों से अपनी बात खत्म करता हूं, मेरा टाइम हो रहा है। प्रकाश बड़ा घड़ी देखता है। सुनो, हमें इस कन्वेंशन में करना क्या है? इस कन्वेंशन का गोल है कि नदियों को इंसानी दर्जा दिलाना। इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन से पहले इंडिया के लोग नदियों को मां मानते और मां जैसा व्यवहार करते थे। इंडियंस को इन द लाइट ऑफ द आवर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन वी कैन डू एफर्ट फॉर आवर रिवर इज लाइक ह्यूमन बीइंग, आवर ऑल रिवर लाइक ह्यूमन बीइंग। This is the goal of this convention. And what is the objective of this convention? The objective of this convention is we all can make a voice of the river. Everyone can make a voice of the river. This is the objective of this convention. What is the activity of this convention? Activity of this convention, we make a manifesto, river manifesto. What is our manifesto? Our manifesto is, we prepared in next 2 days, हम ये कोशिश करेंगे कि नदियों की आवाज का एक घोषणा पत्र तैयार हो। आजादी के बाद भारत की न्यायपालिका ने हजारों जजमेंट दिए हैं नदियों के पक्ष में, more than thousands judgments in the favor of the river, but not a single judgment executed by any government, not a single judgment. My dear friends, in 1988 I filed a case in Supreme Court and I get the decision in 91, 26th October. 28 mines closed by that judgment. 28 mines is closed in that judgment. But today the government of India is not execute that judgment. How long journey? So our second activity, our friend नहीं श्रीधर, गलत मत बोलो, श्रीधर and Suman Pandey and Sanjay and Snehal or Rajesh Pandit.
Bhaiji, 1 minute. Now I am requesting Dr. Sridhar Acharya, please come on to the dais.
Yes. Yeah. Sridhar, yes.
Is the Dean of Mahindra Law University, and just now I spoke in my speech that he is the retired Chief Commissioner, Information Commissioner of India. Thank you, Sridhar ji. Thank you.
ये श्रीधर हैं, चेहरा देख लेना। इनका काम है कि हिंदुस्तान में नदियों के लिए जितने अच्छे जजमेंट हुए हैं उनको कंपाइल करके इस देश की सभी राज्य सरकारों को, म्युनिसिपल कॉरपोरेशन को, पंचायतों को और भारत सरकार को ये बताना कि ये जजमेंट हुए हैं और तुमने एग्जीक्यूट क्यों नहीं किए। आज रात को 12 बजे यदि एक डिसीजन in the favor of Adani and Ambani, next morning, before morning, executed by that judgment. तो अडानी और अंबानी के लिए जजमेंट एग्जीक्यूट हो जाते हैं, पर भारत की नदियों के फेवर में लिए गए जजमेंट एग्जीक्यूट क्यों नहीं होते, ये सरकारें क्यों नहीं एग्जीक्यूट करती, ये भी हमारी एक्टिविटी है नेक्स्ट, कि हम सरकारों को ये बताएं कि ये तुम्हारी ड्यूटी थी, इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन की लाइट में ड्यूटी थी, जुडिशरी ने ये जजमेंट दिया है, व्हाई यू आर नॉट एग्जीक्यूटिंग दिस लॉ, दिस जजमेंट्स. सो दिस इज थर्ड एक्टिविटी. एंड फोर्थ, हम नदियों के बेटे और बेटियां हैं, तो हम नदी के बेटे और बेटी की तरह नदियों के साथ व्यवहार करेंगे. ये कमिटमेंट लेके इस कन्वेंशन से जाएंगे. आई एम ओवर. ये हमारी एक्टिविटी हैं. इन 4 कामों के साथ हम इस सम्मेलन के आखिर से जाएंगे. जय हिंद.
Thank you. Thank you, Bhaiji. So now I am requesting Sri Dr. ISN Raj Garu. He served more than 35 years in combined Andhra Pradesh government as a chief engineer and other positions he held, and he got so many awards for his outstanding performance. And after retirement also he did his PG diploma in Nalsar University. Perhaps Sridhar was registrar at that time. Sridhar taught to ISN Raj Garu in Nalsar University at that time. Sridhar was the registrar. So many contributions we should remember, even in further generation also. He is a Nitya Vidyarthi. Every day he want to learn something. So appreciating, sir. Now I am giving mic to Sri ISN Raj Garu. Sir, better to speak from here. You can take this. You can use this one also.
Good afternoon to everyone, pranams and dear participants. I am extremely happy to be a minister of this National Council on Rivers, and Sri V. Prakash Rao Garu, the chairman of Telangana Water Resource Development Committee and also Indian Peninsula River Basin Council, he has given an opportunity. So respected dignitaries, Manya Sri Narendra Reddy sir, Minister for Agriculture, Telangana State. And Rajendra Singh sir is a waterman of India. I think we can extend his waterman of India to waterman of Asia. He deserves that. Actually, now he is a transboundary waterman. So under his able mentoring, we are doing this one. And Madam Dr. Indira Khurana, Chairman, Indian Himalayan River Basin Council. And our Guru, my Guru, Dr. Madhabushi Sridhar Garu. I did my PG diploma in alternate dispute resolution, so under Nalsar. And my other colleagues, Shyam Prasad Reddy Garu, Damodar Reddy Garu, Dr. Raman Naik, and Director General Valamtari Srinivas Garu, and also Rameshwara Garu. And it is a very amazing and so very interesting that the convention is happening in Hyderabad. Hyderabad, you know the beauty and the greatness of Hyderabad. All roads are leading to Hyderabad, including every country is making their manufacturing hubs in Hyderabad. So that is the President Telangana state, he made Hyderabad so attracting, and also the convention is also happening here. And just I will give in 10 minutes time, I will finish within 10 minutes. India is having 16% of world population, 4% of water, world's water share, and also 2% of land. But India is still surviving, sustaining, and very robust, and a green revolution is happening in India. That is because of the rivers that are flowing in India. River in India is a riverine country. So that is happening because of this one. That is the beauty of rivers that make country so most innovative, robust, and self-sustaining. And initially we used to import food from outside the countries in 50s and 60s. Now our India has grown to the stage of exporting food to the other countries. That is happening because of the major rivers that are flowing in. I told you that important rivers that are flowing in India, I think that two classifications you can say, that North India and South India. And Brahmaputra is a mighty river Of course, it is a transboundary river, you can tell. So it is also in Tibet. It is started in Tibet and China, India and Bangladesh. So that is a very ferocious river. Lot of floods are happening to Assam. And one of my guru and also one senior engineer used to say that most of the rivers will be having female names, but only Brahmaputra is having a male name. So he used to say that that's why Brahmaputra is very ferocious and creating lot of floods. But it is giving lot of resources to also there. Ganga, Yamuna, and these are some of the, and other important river is that is Sindhu, that is also very important river, but is a transboundary river. Though it originates in Srinagar, that is also Himalayan river, but it travels through Pakistan and ultimately it is empties into Arabian Sea near Karachi port. And other important, I think, when rivers are coming, we can say that they are Indian rivers. So only for classification and identification, we say that their rivers are North Indian rivers and South Indian rivers, or Himalayan rivers, or the Indian other rivers are also there. Basins also we call it. But from Srinagar to Kanyakumari, so the entire Indian country is wetted and wetted by the flows of these rivers. When come to these Indian Peninsula rivers, Mahanadi and Krishna and Godavari, so now a lot of discussions have taken place, and there is a competition between the Godavari and Krishna also, who is dominating and all those things. So dominate for a general discussion purpose is there, but rivers have any partiality. They are not biased. So they try to give water to everybody in the country. That is happening is there. And apart from this one is, so that in the Indian, actually the availability of water from this rivers is almost, it is about 2000 kilometer cubes, but you are utilizing only 400 kilometer cube. The reason being, actually whenever the rivers flow, the flood will flow into the seas. So the Arabian, some of the rivers will flow into Bay of Bengal, some of the rivers will flow into Arabian Sea. And what I was told is Yamuna, Ganga and Brahmaputra, Godavari, Krishna, Mahanadi, all these rivers are flowing into this Bay of Bengal, whereas Arabian, that is Sindhu river, and also the Narmada, Tapati, Sabarmati, all the flowing into these funnels. And so some of the important things is, so today whatever green revolution is there, food sufficiency is there, that is happening. But the other side of the coin is, so 20% of the negative point of this is floods, devastation of floods. One of the challenge India is facing is nearly 40 million hectares of land is prone for floods, but we could able to protect about only 18 million hectares only. So rest about 22 million hectares need to be protected. That is one of the challenges. So floods, actually we have to protect these lands. What is happening is in delta areas, so good harvest will be there, but at the time of harvest time, floods will come. Whatever harvest that crop will bear, that is getting damaged. That is also important. So these all, some of the things are there. But everybody, we are discussing and thinking that rivers are giving only water resource. That is also renewable water resource. The best example is, now everybody is talking about sustainable development goals. The one of the important goal is quality power. So the rivers are giving quality power by hydropower generation. They are giving the green power. So still, there are a lot of scope is there to tap these rivers for the hydropower generation. So far, about only 38,000 to 40,000 megawatts of installed capacity of hydropower projects are there. Still, there is a chance to to install hydropower, that is green power. So another about 40 to 50,000 megawatts. That is need of the hour. By 2030, the world wants to switch over from thermal power to this quality power. Only these rivers can give that quality power. It is also important thing. Another 2-3 aspects I would like to tell you is, so we are thinking that only rivers about the giving water, and we are harnessing irrigation. 80% of irrigation water from these rivers is utilized for irrigation only. But the rest of the 20% go for industry and all those things. It's good. Simultaneously, industries must also develop. We need to have some employment and other things are there. But the rivers are getting polluted through these by these industries. So it is very much important that we also we must also educate and create awareness that any industry that takes water, actually, so we are supplying water to them for producing the wealth also simultaneously when they are emitting that used water is there, that is polluting the river. That is another challenge we are facing. That one, that is also important thing. And another important thing is rivers are producing not only renewable water, but they are producing also human resource also. Why I'd like to tell you is, so in Krishna Godavari Delta, so people like people who have harnessed the water and supplied water and made them, actually the farmers, they are self-sufficient. You take example of Sir Arthur Cotton. He built Godavari Anakat. That by building that Godavari Anakat, so he empowered farmers of below middle class, marginal farmers, below middle class also. So still with a lack of land holding also, all those farmers, they got their children educated, they made them engineers, scientists, and they are all working elsewhere. That means in other way also, the rivers are indirectly contributing for their human resource also. And another important thing is, people got lot of love for rivers, for sanctity. So we must keep our rivers pure. And human pollution is also there, but now they started, we are awakening of that thing there, but major pollution is happening from the industry also. So that are important task to before us. Another important thing is, everybody thinks that water is abundant, but water is not abundant. So you all know that in the world, global area, only 1% of potable water is available. Rest is saline water is there. And water is not dynamic like the population. So in 1950s and 60s, so when the population is about 30 to 33 crores, so per capita is I think is almost 4,000 to 5,000 cubic meters per capita. Now, when in 2011, now the present population is 1.3 billions. And everybody says that forecasting that by 2050, it will become 1.5 billion. So it will be surpassing the population of China. So the real problem starts there. By that time, so the per capita will dwindle down to nearly 1,000 cubic meters per capita. So now that is a situation where India will become a water scarce country. So these are challenges are there, but challenges will be there. So with enthusiasm and dynamism and mentoring by Rajan Singh sir, we can cross over all these problems. And ultimately, we see that every drop of water that is in these rivers, these mighty rivers, whether it is Brahmaputra, Ganga, Yamuna, and Godavari, Narmada, Kaveri, and all those things are rivers are there. So we must see that population, the per capita population, water is requirement is there, food grains also required. But water use efficiency is also very, very important. We are using, for wet crops, we are using more water. When compared to globally, so our water use efficiency is only 30 to 40%, whereas in European countries that is about 50 to 60%. So people say that why can't you build dams? We'll build the dams, but the dams will take about 20 to 30 years. Of course, Kaleshwaram is the best example where we must proudly say that the great gigantic project was completed by the leadership of our Telangana Chief Minister KCR in 3 years. So even that lift irrigation scheme is also, so interlinking that is basin transfer of water is happening is there. But it takes more time, but we got about the dams with a capacity of 250 billion cubic meters. Still there is a scope to build about 150 billion cubic meters of storage capacities. So we have to simultaneously build dams. And another important thing is, so productivity is also important. So for when compared to wet and dry crops, the productivity and water usage will be almost, so the dry crops will take off the water what you are taking for wet crops. It is and also it is giving more productivity and also income levels will be resolved. So all these issues I would like that next 2 days will be a brainstorming session will be there. So apart from harvesting water also other important things are this water use efficiency and water productivity and about the pollution. Pollution is also important and also thing is interbasin transfer. So now I think KL Rao garu, just I am finishing in just to the time is over. I just 2-3 things. KL Rao in 1970 he got a grand plan of national water grid from Ganga to Kaveri. So during that 70s situation is different. Now 50 years have passed. So the logistics, the strategy has changed. Every state has built so many dams. Also the requirements is also more. So now at this stage we have to relook into that project and whatever is possible you can have a linking of rivers. So macro level it is always possible to do it. That is within the state we can transfer that water and also with a good understanding with the neighboring states it is also important thing. And by water basin transfer also we can disseminate the floods also. The best example in 2009 the Krishna floods, that is about 10,000 year flood could be able to manage it by interbasin transfer. So that is happening. There's interbasin transfer during floods is also very, very important. And with these few things, and I am very happy that Pan India is here. So the entire and from and across the country, all the participants here, and a great opportunity for all of us. And we thank and we congratulate the organizers for organizing this one. Thank you very much for giving me an opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, we are also realizing that water use efficiency is important because we are bringing water from 100 meters to 650 meters by 10 stages of lifts. Lot of power we are using in this. So this is most essential for Telangana also. Just under the leadership of Jed Srinivasa Rao, we are giving training to the farmers online and offline. And just to encourage them to use little water and more crop. So however, we came into the subject. Now I would like to invite our chief guest, Mr. Niranjan Reddy Garu. We call him as Neela Niranjan Reddy Garu. And the prefix is Neelu, water. And his name is also representing one river. That is Niranjana, River Niranjana. I think Manohar Mano knows about Niranjana River, where the Gautama Buddha got the realization. It is in Bodh Gaya. Now the government has changed the name. But earlier name was Niranjana, when Gautama Buddha was alive. So that is the spirit of the river, and he got that spirit, Niranjan Reddy Garu. He represents the water community of the Telangana, and always he is with us. Now I am requesting him to speak. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Respected President of this inaugural session, my esteemed friend and Chairman of the Telangana State Water Resources Development, Sri Prakash Garu. Respected dignitaries on the dais, Sri Rajendra Singh Garu, popularly known as Waterman of India. Other dignitaries, respected Sri Damodar Reddy Garu, Sri Professor Madhabushi Sridhar Garu, Sri Shyamprasad Reddy Garu, Srimati Indiraji, Sri Raju Garu, Sri Rameshwara Garu, Sri Srinivas Garu, other distinguished guests and invitees who are present here, and the friends of media. A very good afternoon to all of you. If you clap, you will also reciprocating. That's how I feel. There shall be a reciprocation. When I wish to you, I expect that you also would wish back. I'm extremely happy for this great opportunity that is afforded to me by the chief organizer, my friend Mr. Prakash, to inaugurate this session. Most precious and most conscious session this is. This will definitely throw very useful light onto the concerning issues. We all know the importance and significance of water. It is the water from where the life has emanated and evoluted further, and we are now in the present situation. Water not only required for humans, it is required for plants, it is required for all the other creatures, visible and invisible creatures of this universe. Without water, there is no life. Without water, there is no future. So how best the contemporary rulers of the world make rational usage of the water is the wisdom, and that is the heights of the participatory democracy we can assess, and thereby you can grade the competencies of the successive governments and the contemporary governments. Unfortunately, when we look at the laws that are concerning the river waters or environmental hazards or such other community-based fundamental requirements. All such enactments in this country, may it be by the Union Parliament or by the state legislatures, they have come out only after protracted struggles of the people or the conscious elements of the society, but not with the wisdom and initiatives of the governments. That is the apathy. It's only the social pressure, whenever it is mounted very hugely, then the progressive legislations, they come up in the system. Even those acts, when they are put to implementation, we know how the implementation part gets diluted. So this is the time that the challenges of current situation and the future have to be addressed, and only the people like you will definitely, I am confident that we will contribute, and that will definitely pave a way for future, not only in India, across the globe. We know that the very civilization, according to the historians also who wrote the civilization, they understood, they read, they got into it, they researched, they analyzed, and finally they wrote the history. Most of the histories are directly related to the rivers. We call it Volga to Ganga civilization. We call it Ganga Yamuna civilization. We call it Sindhu civilization. We call it Godavari civilization. We call it Krishna civilization. So the civilization is directly linked to the rivers. That is the importance of the rivers. And unfortunately, today we are in a state of affairs where we do not know how many lakhs of tons of garbage, waste, plastic, detergents, soaps, residues, everything is getting into the seas. There are no concrete steps that are initiated by successive governments in the country to prevent the rivers from being polluted by all such wastages. Developed countries, mostly Scandinavian countries and other European countries, they have evolved a policy where the waste management system is their top priority. We hardly know about the waste management. We know only waste management of the public exchequer. We hardly implement the waste management of the residues in the societies. We have to cultivate that. We all know, हम जानते हैं कि हिंदुस्तान में 140 करोड़ आवाम हैं, जिनके यूसेज में न जाने कितने लाख टन्स के डिटर्जेंट्स होते हैं, सोप्स होते हैं, अदर एसिड रेसिडुअल्स होते हैं, शैम्पूस होते हैं, एवरीडे यूज़ करते हैं. ये पूरा रेसिड्यूस कहाँ जा रहे हैं? कितने ट्रीटमेंट प्लांट्स है अपने पास? What is the proportion of treatment plants that is prevalent in India? Are we really conscious about all those things? So now there shall be a social pressure on the governments, that the governments shall take up it as a priority, top priority. Already because of the deforestation, there is a lot of erosion of the land. Most of the lands are getting silted. Most of the rivers are getting silted. Most of the projects are getting silted. The projects that have been built up 3 or 4 decades ago, or 5 decades ago, or 6 decades ago, almost 30% or 35%, 25% of the impounding capacity is filled with the silt. We have no proper mechanism of saving these precious projects. Unless you take up vast plantation natural plantation and grow your forestry, you cannot prevent the erosion, and ultimately we will be spoiling the rivers. So in this context, I may have to throw little light onto the subject, referring to the initiatives that are taken by Government of Telangana under the able leadership of our Chief Minister Sri KCR. Very aptly said by Sri Raju Garu, saying that a gigantic project by name Kaleshwaram has been built within 3 years. It's a record time. Record in the entire globe, I say, not in India. Even 3 gadgets project of first phase was only completed within 3 years, not the entire project. Now here the entire Kaleshwaram project has been completed within 3 years. Here we have to realize and understand one thing, that a contemplated project, if it gets completed within a stipulated period, you will have the lot of saving first. At the earliest possible time, you will have the resources to be put to the usage, intended usage of the people. And unfortunately, we are in a country where we see that the projects are contemplated, foundations are laid. By the time you realize their waters, one generation passes away. That's what has happened. Then the cost of construction of each and every project, such project, automatically goes up. And the fruits that are to be realized by the people, they never realize in their lifetime. That is the case with us. I represent and I come from a district which is popularly known as Labour District. Our area, it was very prosperous. And for 3-4 decades it has suffered like anything, and that remained as the symbol of poverty, symbol of famine, symbol of drought, symbol of backwardness. Because even the small projects that were contemplated were not finished within the stipulated period. They were supposed to be completed in 4 years, and they have taken 40 years to complete. That completion also was done only after attaining Telangana, and at our hands we have completed. We have amongst us my friend Mr. Khagendar, who worked as chief engineer of our projects. Our Shamprasadana is here. Many of engineers are here who relentlessly worked for completion, early completion of the projects in the state of Telangana. So now that with the great effort, we could provide irrigation potential to our erstwhile Mahbubnagar district to an extent of 12 lakh acres. Now it is going up by 20 lakh acres in another 1 or 1.5 years. This is irrigation part I am submitting. But as far as protecting, saving the rivers, what are the main initiatives? What are the desired initiatives one has to take as a ruler? So now that Government of Telangana has taken up a prestigious program of restoring the erstwhile tanks, the tanks that were built in a period of 1,000 years, right from Kakatiya dynasty to Nizams. All such irrigation tanks which were destroyed, destructed, neglected, were taken up and restored. Thereby, all such tanks have started yielding groundwater very effectively. Their impounding capacity has increased, and lot of irrigation potential has increased. In the next phase, we have taken up constructing check dams across the rivers and riverlets. 1,800 check dams we have completed. 1,800 check dams, and again another 1,500 to 1,800 check dams we are going to construct. We will be permanently paving a way for the groundwater to be increased and to make the surface water available to the farmers, not only for agriculture and also to the drinking purposes. The vegetation that is coming up very rapidly, The ecosystem is improving. Certain creatures like birds, rarely we used to see in the childhood, and we missed them for almost 4 decades. And now we have seen not only the people who are migrating in rivers, the birds that we missed for all these years have also started migrating back to their places. That is the beauty. So this is the ecosystem we have developed. And added to this, in order to prevent the rivers, riverlets not to be polluted, our Chief Minister has visualized and he has realized the importance, and he has declared a program. We have amended the acts, local body acts, Gram Panchayats and municipalities, whereby we have authorized the local bodies. We have not only authorized by legislative provisions, we have also authorized them and empowered them by providing monthly amounts from the exchequer of the state. And what they are required to do, now in each and every village, the Gram Panchayat mandatorily has to take up growing of a nursery. That nursery shall cater the needs of the plantation of the entire village. May it be avenue plantation, may it be plantation in government places, may it be plantation by the farmers, may it be plantation elsewhere, and also regenerate the degraded forest. Nursery is one element. There never used to be a nursery for each and every village. In India, I can proudly say that there is no state which maintains nursery for each and every village today. It's only Telangana state. And we have equipped the Gram Panchayat by providing one tractor with a trolley and also with a tanker. We have provided garbage collection autos. We have increased the salaries of the Panchayat and municipal workers who work on sanitation. They collect the day-to-day garbage. They carry it, put it in tractor. This tractor trolley takes it to a distant place in the village, where we have provided one segregation shed, one dumping yard. The material which can be decomposed will be put in the dumping yard. The plastic will be segregated. The other materials like bottles and such other materials will be collected separately. All such materials will be taken away by the required people for processing in their own way. And this tanker of the tractor will be engaged every day to provide water to the planted plantations. Now you can see wherever you go, any corner of the state, each and every Telangana village welcomes you with the green plantations all along the roads, within the village, outside the village. We have increased the green cover by 3% within 7 years of our governance. No other state in the country has taken such initiative. We wish and we want that all the states have to take up this activity. Similarly, see what is happening is, we have focused on the sanitation very seriously. The entire garbage is collected, it is processed. We are not allowing it to spread into the rivers. That we have prevented successfully. The drains perfectly they have been constructed. Soak pits are constructed in each and every village. Therefore, whenever you have a rainy season, extensive rains are there, only water flows, but water doesn't carry all this garbage and all the human spoil. That is how the rivers of Godavari and Krishna, these days, for the last 3-4 years, they are not getting any human residue or garbage residues into the seas. By and large, to a larger extent, we are successful. The nation and national government should focus on such issues. They should not feel shy because KCR has initiated such initiatives here first. Why should we copy? They should think of. They hardly find time to think about all such things. They are very leisure at playing politics only. It is most unfortunate. It is most unfortunate. And resultantly, the increase of water potential has led to the excess production of agricultural produces in the state. You might have observed recently, from the month of February onwards. Earlier, we have strived and struggled for square meal, the people of this area, in spite of the best resources we had, because they were not put to use of this region. And now the agricultural growth is such, within 7 years, that the government of India became hands up and saying that we are not able to buy or purchase your food grains from your state because already we are excess in the country, so don't grow. Any production in the universe, sociologically also if you think, any production in the universe is a sign of progress. You can never say that you stop this. You have to think how to make use of it in other forms, how to make use of it in other countries. Agriculture produce of this country can be used elsewhere in the world. Even today, people of African continent, almost 30 to 35% of people from the African continent, they are struggling for food. Supreme Court observed recently, saying that 20 to 25 crores of people of this country are suffering for lack of food. When excess production is coming, the government of India is not in a position to manage and rationalize the food items, food grains, pulses, oils, whatever it is. So what is the role being played by governments? So this is one thing you have to think. Of course, Prakash is the chief ambassador of Godavari River and Kaleshwaram project. And I think he is one who visited our erstwhile Mahbubnagar district more than the leaders of our erstwhile district themselves. That is his greatness. I request all of you, if not tomorrow, sometime in the near future, make a point to visit Kaleshwaram project and its connecting bodies in your lifetime. You rarely see, you can't even visualize, you can't imagine. We know only the running and flowing rivers in the universe. But KCR has done a magic where the rivers have started flowing to the back, flowing to the other end. So by constructing Kaleshwaram project with 3 barrages and pumping stations and all across river Godavari, my friend Sridhar Deshpande is there. He is our social colleague. He has contributed so much in the field of engineering, particularly in the irrigation sector. His contribution is so much that he could influence many intellectuals of the state. Almost enta shamanadi 180 kilometers untada Godavari Medigadda nunchi chivari daka 200 Yellampalli Medigadda to Yellampalli backwaters. Almost 200 kilometers stretch of Godavari river is now made live with water with an impounding capacity of almost 35 to 40 TMC. it will be there all through. Whether it is a summer or rainy season, whatever it is, water will be there all through. Therefore, this conscious and deliberate effort made by the government of Telangana is an eye-opener to rest of the country. I am given to understand that there are almost representatives from the 26 states here except Sikkim and Arunachal Pradesh. Hopefully they might be attending tomorrow. So I request you all to have conscious and deliberate deliberations in your own areas, in your respective states, in your areas of operations. Then make the people enlightened more and more on these issues. Because the future will be, I don't think there will be any logical wars, but if we do not rationalize ourselves, if we do not rationally use the water across the globe, there will be wars only for waters in future. Otherwise, you have no way except the last, least, worst and most expensive method of desalination of the sea waters. That's the last resort, which we can't afford. Humankind cannot afford. Therefore, I believe that the proposed deliberations and discussions in the academic and technical sessions that are following after this inaugural session would throw a greater light and useful light onto the issues, and all of you will be enlightened in the result. The people will be enlightened, and I thank you one and all, and particularly I thank the organizers for giving me this great opportunity. Thank you one and all.
Before concluding, now I am requesting Honorable Chief Guest, Mementos, please. Soni and Narmada, be ready with mementos. Now, memento to Rajendra Singh Ji by Minister, Honorable Minister. Come. नहीं आपको दे रहे नहीं आपका नाम पे नहीं आपका नाम पे नहीं you are the international popular leader या आपका नाम पे है वो thank you it's our honor हमारा state के तरफ से not from Niranjan Reddy personal on behalf of Telangana state we are honoring you now the memento to Honorable Minister by Dr. Rajendra Singh Ji. Yes. Yeah. It's a wonderful speech. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Now, Honorable Minister will give memento to ISN Raj Garu, guest of honor. ISN Raj Garu, memento this friend. I'm privileged, sir. Yeah. Bhaiji, idhar aaye. Yeah. 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 Koncham. Yeah. Total team is here. Yeah, Corona Garu. Thank you. So now I am requesting Honorable Chairman of Krishna family, Ma Anna Shamanna. He will give some concluding remarks and vote of thanks for this session. Please bear 5 minutes for Sham Prasad Reddy Garu. He is an eminent engineer and a leader of all the engineers. He is the General Secretary of Telangana Retired Engineers Association and soul of this event. He is the soul of this event. Without him, we cannot go forward. And the supporting organizations also there. But we will give mementos in the valedictory function by Honorable Minister Harish Rao Garu. So that's why I limited mementos only to Chief Guest and Guest of Honor and Bhaiji. Thank you.
Hello, good afternoon to all. Because we are already, I think, 1.5 hours late. Okay, friends, I have been interested with the to conclude the, to sum up and conclude the today's session. Now, this meeting's presiding officer, our chairman, Prakash Garu, and our chief guest, Honorable Singre Niranjan Reddy Annagaru, and our mentor, and our Rajendra Singh ji, Dr. Rajendra Singh ji, our guest of honor, Dr. Ayyasan Rajgaru, and our Himalayan River Basins chairperson, Dr. Indira Khurana ji, and Madhabushi Sridhar Garu, and our President Damodar Reddy Garu, and Rameshwar Rao Garu, and DG Valamthari Srinivas Garu, and my friends sitting in the rare seats, and friends from all the states, except 2 states, I think so. Really, I'm very happy. Today, you see, the last week, when we have conducted one press meet, Rajendra Singh ji said, why we have chosen Hyderabad for this meet? He said 3 things. Because this state, I have seen a dry river of Godavari is full of water in 200 kilometers by constructing the gigantic and engineering marvel of this Kaleshwaram project. And second thing is, the state government has taken up 2 missions. One is Kakatiya mission for reviving 46,000 minor irrigation tanks and check dams. And a third one is supplying drinking water to every household in the state. This is a unique thing in the country. For 3 things, for these 3 things, I have chosen, he said, Hyderabad for this meet. Thank you, Rajendra Singh ji. And today, you see, our event started with the presentation of presentation on water conservation by Sri Mahendra Modi ji. Really, it was wonderful presentation, and we will try to connect with him, and we will try to implement. We are also, as retired engineers, we are also serving these farmers in 3-4 states by visiting them with free of cost, free consultancy for going for rainwater harvesting. Really, even we have gone to Tamil Nadu and Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Karnataka and Andhra also. Really, Prakash ji has introduced all the dignitaries on the dais in a pleasant way. Really, I am very much happy. And he explained about the 2 days programs also. And Indira Khurana ji, she spoken about Himalayan Rivers, Sindhu, Ganga and Brahmaputra. Madam, people used to think that Brahmaputra is the He river, but it becomes a She river when it enters into Bangladesh as Jamuna. And that Jamuna becomes Meghana after meeting Padma. Therefore, all the rivers before joining the sea are She rivers only. Okay, Talia, please. Thank you. And really, and we have released one book, Sujal Bharati, and website. And Sweta Jhunjhunwala has very clearly explained about the website also. And Prakash ji reiterated that the general should become the voice of the voiceless rivers. Please, claps, please. Our general, that the aim of our general is voice of the voiceless rivers. And really, river anthem, the video has been played, and it is really most inspiring song done under the guidance of our mentor, Dr. Rajendra Singh ji. And other Manohar Manav ji also from Bengal, from Bihar, has got his River Yatra book released by our Honorable Minister, our own Minister, Niranjan Reddy Garu. And Dr. Rajendra Singh ji, he has very clearly explained the objective and the aim of this meet. What is our aim? Finally, he said, he has explained so many things. finally he said, our activity is to make a river manifesto. You see, this meet's main aim is to make a river manifesto to be deliberated among the Indian civil society, and finally we will come to a final manifesto. And he said, reiterated, not a single judgment has been implemented which have been given in the favor of rivers so far. Really, it is very sorry state of affairs. And prior to our constitution, we used to treat our rivers as mothers. But in our constitution also, there are so many articles which safeguard our rivers. Therefore, we fight for the safeguards our river. And all this, as a civil engineer and irrigation engineer, I want to say one word, that all these years, we were taught by our professor like P.G. Shastri Garu and other things, how to exploit the rivers, how to exploit the water bodies. Either by gravity or by lift, we have to see that the water reaches the poor man in the village. But we never taught about how to safeguard the rivers. We never taught about the pollution, how we are polluting the rivers, how the rivers have been encroached by the encroachers. That we were never taught. We used to think that it is a matter of, we have left it for activists from environmentalists. It is not our activity. As engineer means, we should build dams. We should excavate the canals. We should give water to the farmers and industries. That's all. But here, after coming into your fold, sir, and also Dr. Khadarwali, now we have realized that all these years, whether have we done the right thing or the wrong thing. Even my 35 years service, we have constructed so many dams, so many reservoirs, and so many canals. Really, is it worthy? You see, the sir has made 12 rivers in desert green, rejuvenated. That too in Rajasthan, with the very meager rainfall. Really wonderful, sir, you have done. It requires a Nobel Prize, that's all. Also, we have seen this Mr. Hivare Bazar. The rainfall is only 380. Mr. Popatra Pawar, he made miracles. History. You see, in Telangana, we are having average rainfall is 750. Really, we require, do we require so much of gigantic projects? Because Niranjan Anna is here, he is agriculture minister. We need water for agriculture. But we are constructing so many gigantic projects with so many thousands of crores. But we have, in the water utilization, water use, we are not using it properly. Government is expending so many things, so many crores. But water use efficiency is at a low level, Anna. We have to increase the water use efficiency, at least for these lift schemes. Because nearly 50 lakh acres will be irrigated by lift schemes only in Telangana. And really, Anna, ISM Rajgaru explained about the Indian rivers, Himalayan rivers, and our peninsular rivers. And he highlighted that we could, 40 million hectares is prone to floods. We could save only 18 million acres out of 40. That also very concerned subject. And even he has touched about this quality of power, and hydropower is the only source, and rivers getting polluted. In that way, he is very much concerned. And finally our chief guest, he really, I overwhelmed after hearing his speech. Really, please claps, please. He has touched every subject. As a farmer, as an administrator, as a minister, he has touched everything. Really wonderful, Anna. In Sanskrit, we used to say, Vriksho rakshiti rakshitaha. If you save trees, they will save you. then our new theme should be, Rajendra ji, Jalo Rakshiti Rakshitaha. You save water and it will save you. In that way, today Niranjan Reddy Anna, he had touched so many items right from civilization, Sindhu Nagarikata, Sindhu civilization, to how the government has taken up so many programs, plantation, nursery for every village, and check dams, and really birds are returning, just like Palamur labor are returning from the cities and other parts of India. Birds also started coming to our area because we are having water bodies and greenery everywhere in Telangana now. And in that way, I am very happy, and he has touched other subjects also. Anyhow, Anna, we are very much thankful to you. Today really, our session, first session, it was to be completed by 11:30, but
it will continue. Only you can send off.
Antena? Okay, okay. And Antena? వాళ్ళకి మరి vote of thanks చెప్పాలి కదా. Okay. Those who are leaving, especially our chief guest, Honorable Minister for Agriculture, Singreddy Niranjan Reddy Garu, in spite of his busy schedule, he has really, the moment we requested him, he said, at what time I have to come? We said at 10. He was ready by 10. But we asked him, requested him to come by half an hour late. In that way, we are very much thankful to Anna for taking this time. And you spent 2 hours with us, and you delivered a wonderful lecture, and you touched all the subjects. Therefore, I am very much on behalf of Indian Himalayan River Basin Council and Indian Peninsula River Basin Council, and my behalf of Krishna River family, and on behalf of all of us, we are very much thankful to you, Anna, for sparing this time. And anybody is leaving, Anna? Also our guest of honor, our respected Dr. I.S.N. Raju Garu, really with a short time he has consented to give his address here. We are very much thankful to you, sir. Okay, thank you. Now I am very much thankful to you, our Chairman Ji, for giving this opportunity to share my views and to say vote of thanks to the dignitaries. And okay, thank you.
Yeah, please be seated, everyone. Only ministers and guest of honor Raj Garu will leave the dais and hall. Everyone should sit. Please don't go out. Karnaka Reddy Garu, don't allow anyone to go out. Yeah, minister is available in the evening. Anyone want to visit his home? It's very close to 1-2 kilometers from here. Yeah. Please be seated. Narmada ji, everyone should come back. Please settle back. Now one important session we have, River Manifesto. It's an important session. Yeah. Sir, meer heltara evarana? Yeah, if anybody want to leave, you can. Yeah. Now it's time for the important session. Now we are focusing the entire session, 2 days session. The main item is River Manifesto. So we have distributed 1-page note to everyone. Everyone got the papers? So you will get it. 1-page note. Sir, andarki vachitadu chudandi. You can distribute. Sandeep, nu kuda po. So everyone will get. And backside only white place, you can give feedback. Whatever the suggestions you have, you can write in your language. If you understand English, if you are unable to write in English, you can write in your local language. Guru Swamiji will translate, and other friends from Karnataka will translate it if they are in Kannada. So now the session is, just I will take it. Yeah, thank you, Bhai sir. Yeah, for River Manifesto session,
I'm inviting guests on the dais, Sanjay Singh ji. Sanjay Singh ji from Jhansi, UP. And Vinod Bodankar ji. And Indira Khurana already is here. And Satyanarayana Bolsetti ji, please come. Please come on to the dais. And Naren Chug ji. And Manohar Mano ji. Dr. Snehal Dunde ji. Dr. Snehal Dunde ji. And Guru Swami ji. You please come on to the dais. Sridhar, already our chief guest of this session, Mr. Sridhar Madhabushi, is already here. You can speak. Mirikarandi, Sridhar, you can come here. You are the chief guest. You are the one seat. Yeah, one seat. Yeah. This session presided by our Honorable Chairman of Indian Himalayan River Basin Council, Indira Khurana ji. Please preside this session. You can sit here. Yeah. Yeah. Before handing the mic to Indira ji, I will request Dr. Rajendra Singh ji share few words and ideas about the river manifesto, why it is required, why the manifesto is required for river. So I am requesting Dr. Rajendra Singh ji to speak about river manifesto for 5 to 10 minutes. Thank you.
हम भारत के लोग नदियों को जिस लगाव के साथ माँ कहते थे, वो लगाव इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के बाद नहीं रहा। तो फिर श्रीधर मेरे साथ बैठे हैं, वो बताएंगे कि इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में सचमुच नदियों के लिए क्या है। पर यदि हमें मैनिफेस्टो बनाना है तो मैनिफेस्टो की ज़रूरत क्या है? वाई वी आर प्रिपेयरिंग द मैनिफेस्टो फॉर रिवर? क्यों बनाना? बनाना इसलिए होता है कि जब हमें दूसरों को बताना होता है, दूसरों से वोट लेने होते हैं, तब हम झूठा सच्चा मैनिफेस्टो बनाते हैं वोट लेने के लिए। हमें तो वोट नहीं चाहिए, तो फिर हमें मैनिफेस्टो क्यों चाहिए? हमें मैनिफेस्टो इसलिए चाहिए कि हम अपनी लाइफ में नदियों के साथ कैसे डिसिप्लिन्ड होकर उनके साथ व्यवहार करें। नदियों को यदि हमें स्वस्थ रखना है, रिवर हेल्थ एंड ह्यूमन हेल्थ रिलेशनशिप को समझना है, तो हम नेक्स्ट जनरेशन को मोटिवेट कर सकते हैं कि वो यदि स्वस्थ जीवन जीना चाहते हैं तो वो नदियों को स्वस्थ रखना शुरू करें। यदि वो स्वस्थ नहीं रहना चाहते तो नदियों को मर जाने दो, गंदे नाले बन जाने दो। जैसे बंबई की 5 नदियों को नाले बना दिया था, वैसे भारत की सारी नदियां नाले बन जाएंगी। गंगा भी बन जाएगी, कृष्णा भी बन जाएगी, कावेरी भी बन जाएगी। एवरीवन रिवर ट्रीटेड लाइक ड्रेन। लेकिन इस नदी के नाले बनने से तुम्हारी लाइफ कैसी होगी? उस लाइफ में तुम क्या करोगे? तुम्हारी नेक्स्ट जनरेशन तुम्हें माफ नहीं करेगी। तुम्हारा बेटा और बेटी कहेगी कि तुम्हें मेरे दादा और दादी और नाना और नानी ने जैसी नदी दी थी, वैसी तुम मेरे लिए क्यों नहीं छोड़ के जा रहे हो? Why you not give the river like my grandfather and grandmother give to you? They are asking you, my dear. इसलिए अच्छे लोग वो होते हैं जो बुरा समय आने से पहले अपने को सुधारने के लिए अपनी लाइफ में कुछ कमिटमेंट करते हैं। तो दिस मैनिफेस्टो इज द कमिटमेंट नॉट फॉर ओनली गवर्नमेंट, दिस इज द कमिटमेंट फॉर अस। ये मैनिफेस्टो वोट लेने के लिए नहीं है, ये मैनिफेस्टो झूठा किसी को दिखाने के लिए नहीं है, ये मैनिफेस्टो है हमारे लिए कि हम कैसे हों। इसलिए इस मैनिफेस्टो में हमें अपनी नदी के साथ कैसा व्यवहार करना चाहिए और नदियों की आवाज़ बनकर हम नदियों को कैसे जिंदा कर सकते हैं, मरी हुई नदियों को हम कैसे नदी बना सकते हैं। ये सब जो काम है, ये करने के लिए हमने 2 काउंसिल बनाई थी 7 जुलाई को। कहाँ बनाई थी? ब्रह्मगिरी पर्वत पर। ब्रह्मगिरी पर्वत पर हम बहुत ज़्यादा लोग नहीं थे, लेकिन ब्रह्मगिरी पर्वत पर वहाँ के लोगों ने अपने पर्वत की हरियाली और गोदावरी नदी की पवित्रता गोदावरी नदी की और सह्याद्री की हरियाली के लिए संकल्प लिया था। तभी हम लोगों को ध्यान में आया कि ये हमारा भी संकल्प होना चाहिए कि इस देश की नदियों को हमारी जो नेक्स्ट जनरेशन है वो वैसी देख सके। इसलिए हमने पेनिनसुलर रिवर काउंसिल और हिमालयन रिवर काउंसिल बनाई थी। फॉर्चुनेटली हिमालयन रिवर काउंसिल को देखने वाले लोग बहुत कमिटमेंट के साथ काम कर रहे हैं। पेनिनसुलर रिवर को, पूरी रिवर सिस्टम को समझने वाले लोग बहुत अच्छे से काम कर रहे हैं। दोनों काउंसिल एक से एक आगे बढ़ के काम कर रही हैं। और जितने भी राज्य हैं, उन राज्यों के सारे प्रतिनिधि अभी जोधपुर में मिले थे पिछले महीने, अब यहाँ मिल रहे हैं। अगले महीने हम दिल्ली में मिलने वाले हैं 14-15 अप्रैल को। हम कोशिश कर रहे हैं डे बाय डे कि ये मैनिफेस्टो हमें क्या करने के लिए प्रेरित करेगा। सो दिस मैनिफेस्टो मोटिवेटिंग फोर्स for us, we can make discipline in our life for the river. So this is the commitment for this manifesto. हम किसी से वोट लेने के लिए झूठा सच्चा मैनिफेस्टो नहीं बनाने वाले हैं। हम एक सच्चा मैनिफेस्टो बनाना चाहते हैं जिससे हम अपने आप को डिसिप्लिन कर सकें। इसलिए मैं इंदिरा जी को माइक देते हुए ये कहूँगा कि इंदिरा जी, इस मैनिफेस्टो में हमें ये देखना होगा कि हमारी सारी भाषाओं में, लोकल भाषाएं, अंग्रेजी, हिंदी, सब में ये मैनिफेस्टो तैयार होना चाहिए। लेकिन आज हम हिंदी और अंग्रेजी में केवल करें, इंग्लिश एंड हिंदी दोनों लैंग्वेज में आज शाम तक ये मैनिफेस्टो तैयार हो जाए, ऐसी मैं आशा करता हूँ। धन्यवाद। जय हिंद। मैंने 5 मिनट से ज़्यादा नहीं लिया, सुबह भी मैंने 10 मिनट से ज़्यादा नहीं लिया।
नहीं भाई जी, आपने टाइम नहीं ज़्यादा लिया। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद भाई जी। आपने जो हम इंग्लिश में बोलते हैं सेटिंग द टोन, अभी जो डिस्कशन होगी उसके बारे में आपने हम सबको प्रेरित किया एज ऑलवेज। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। और जैसे कि सुबह से बात हो रही है कि इस मैनिफेस्टो में हम वो कोशिश करेंगे जो नदियाँ जो बेजुबा हैं, अभी जो जिनको हमने बेजुबा बना दिया है, उनकी हम आवाज़ बने और अपने कमिटमेंट हम क्या कर सकते हैं नदियों के लिए, वो हम आगे इस मैनिफेस्टो में बताएं। सो थैंक यू वेरी मच भाई जी। I'd like to now invite Professor Sridhar Madhabushi, former Chief Information Commissioner and expert on legal matters especially pertaining to rivers, to share his experience and his thoughts with us. Thank you so much.
A very good afternoon to all of you. The dignitaries on the dais, Waterman of India, Bulli Satyanarayana Garu, Indira ji, Sneha ji, and other friends who are sitting here, experts from different states. I salute them for their great efforts to conserve the life of the nature. Life of the nature is river, and they are committed to protect the life of the nature. I salute to them for their commitment. Then all the great friends sitting before me. Entire civilization is on the banks of river. If there is no river, there is no civilization. If there is no river, there is no nature. If there is no nature, we are not there. Now, I was asked to talk on constitutional aspects of rivers and rivers protection. I'd like to tell you the meaning of constitution is nature. If you go to homeopathy doctor, he will examine your constitution. What is your constitution? That means what is the nature of your body, and then he will administer the medicine to you. And in fact, they believe that is the correct method of diagnosing the disease and going for the treatment, a comprehensive treatment. So nature is the constitution, and Constitution of India is the nature of India. But do we have any protective provisions in the Constitution about the nature of India? That is the question before us. It is subtly mentioned in Directive Principles of State Policy, Article 48 and Article 51. But it is manifestly mentioned in Article 21, that is right to life. Now, how can I link right to life, which is available to persons, to rivers, is the question before us. But let me tell you, that is the crux of the issue. In our country, we regard certain entities as legal persons. You know, there are two kinds of persons, natural persons and legal persons. Legal persons are also called artificial persons. But most of the real legal persons are natural persons, not artificial persons. They are natural persons. For example, you might have read and heard about the Ayodhya litigation. Do you know who is the party to the Ayodhya litigation? Can anybody tell? Ram Lalla. Ram Lalla, how can Ram Lalla be a litigant? He is not a living person. But we have given him an attribute of living person as a legal personality. And as a legal personality, his rights were discussed. It is not the right of A, not right of B, not right of C, not right of government, not right of Uttar Pradesh, not right of Faizabad, not right of Ayodhya, but it was right of Ram Lalla. Similarly, Lord Venkateshwara in Tirupati, Tirumala, is a legal personality, and all others are his trustees. They manage his property. They are not owners of the property. Similarly, we gave status of legal person to, do you know, in the near Ayodhya, there is one legal person which we ignore. That is Naimisharanya. I think you must have heard of Naimisharanya. Naimisharanya is one of the 108 Divya Deshas. Divya Desha means where Narayana was praised by 12 Alvars of South India. They are called Divya Desha. You must have heard recently Ramanuja's statue was established in Hyderabad, and it is surrounded by 108 Divya Deshas, and one of which is Naimisharanya. So you remember Naimisharanya as a legal person, and do you know that Ganga is called God and Ganga is called legal person? Do you know that? Ganga is mother river Ganga. You know Saraswati river that comes from Mana, near Himalayas, near Badri Narayan Kshetra. It is called God. It is given the status of legal person, not according to law, but according to our own worship and nature. And we perform puja of nadis for every 12 years. It is called Pushkara. For every 12 years we perform pujas for every river. We go there and take bath to get punya, but nobody thinks of the pap we are committing by polluting them. Nobody thinks of that. So we are polluting even by taking bath in it. With all our muddy thoughts and muddy body, you are polluting the river. We don't bother about it. So this is the situation in our country. If you remember Bhagavat, I would like to refer to Kaliya Mardana, Sri Krishna Leela. Do you know what is it? It is cleansing of a water body from the poison of pollution and respecting it. And then similarly, Krishna is known for worshipping a hilak, Govardhan. So these are all two symbols of respecting environmental entities of this country, wonderful country. We regard river as God. We regard forest as God. We regard as hill as God. Do you know where the hill is revered as God? Do you know? Badri Narayan. There are two hills. One is called Nara Hill and Narayana Hill. No, we respect hills also as gods, but We don't know how not to pollute it. We don't know how to conserve it. That is the pathetic state of affairs in our country. We are not aware of the rights of the rivers. We are thinking of sharing rivers. We are thinking of managing rivers. We are thinking of exploiting rivers. We are thinking of resolving disputes about rivers. We are passing 3 bills. There are 3 bills pending with the government of India. And all the 3 bills talk about various other things, but nothing, not a single sentence about conservation of rivers. How to protect rivers? None of our business. None of our business of parliament. None of our business of executive. None of our business of even the judiciary. Do you know why I'm including judiciary? We have to thank judiciary for protecting the rivers by making several orders, which Rajendra Singh ji was mentioning in the morning, whether we implement or not. Somebody asked a question, who will implement the orders of Supreme Court? This is the question. Then the answer was, we should have another Supreme Court to implement the orders of Supreme Court. Then the other question was, who will implement that Supreme Court's order? So it is difficult. Supreme Court's orders are supposed to be implemented by governments at center, government at states, and people at large. People are not excluded from the duty of implementation of judgments. We are supposed to implement the judgments. Okay, that is fine. Then we have 2 provisions in Indian Constitution under Article 48 and 51, which say that we have to develop scientific methods of protecting the environment and nature. Are we doing it? In Hyderabad, every day I'll travel 25 kilometers to reach my college. En route there is Katta Maisamma, but Cheru is missing. మీకు తెలుసా ఇది తెలుగులో చెప్తాను, మా బొల్లి సత్యనారాయణ గారికి అర్థమైపోతుంది. కట్ట ఉంది, కట్ట మైసమ్మ ఉంది, చెరువు లేదు. కట్ట ఎందుకంటే చెరువును రక్షించడానికి కట్ట. బండ్ ఆఫ్ ది ట్యాంక్ ఈజ్ కాల్డ్ ఇన్ తెలుగు కట్ట. Then to protect Katta, there is one goddess, the god of people. She is called Katta Maisamma. And the fun is, there is no tank, there is no water body. That is what is happening to water bodies in entire country, and especially in Hyderabad. Hyderabad was almost on par with Bhopal in its abundance of water bodies. But today, most of the water bodies have become colonies. And nobody bothers about where the water has gone. Do you remember river Saraswati, which was associate of Maharshi Vyasa? When he was about to write pen Mahabharat, it was there on the side of side of Vyasa Maharshi. But today, where is it? We simply say, so that we protect the sentiments of the people, that it is Antarvahini. Somewhere under You have right to petition. In that petition, you will ask for right to life, right to freedom of speech and expression, right to development, right that, right this, right that. So many rights can be asked if you have right to petition. And today, right to information is manifestation of right to petition. And we are, of course, we are diluting right to information also. That's a different thing. Here, I'd like to correct a small information error. I am not Chief Information Commissioner, madam. I am only Information Commissioner. Because I'm an Information Commissioner, it's my duty to tell you correct information. I am only the Commissioner, not Chief. So everybody should correct their information and give correct information. That is democratic demand. I'd like to tell you, in Dibang, Arunachal Pradesh, the river, on that river there is a 397 megawatt hydroelectric project. And there they have recognized the right of the river. And then there are tributaries, Tangon and Dri. These three tributaries have right to flow from that river that was recognized by the court. And ecologically, what we are doing in the name of development, we are constructing dams and that can take away 270,000 trees and 1,150 hectares of forest land. Ecuador Constitution, for the first time in 2008, has recognized the status of legal person to the rivers. And then they have recognized a park was recognized in New Zealand. National park has been given the status of legal person, similar to our Naimisharanya, but we don't recognize Naimisharanya as legal person. And New Zealand passed a law in 2017 giving legal personhood status to Wanghauri River ecosystem. And in 2009, United Nations General Assembly has adopted a resolution giving, declaring International Mother Earth Day, where Mother Earth was given recognition of the legal person. And in 2019, Dhaka High Court has recognized River Turag as legal person. There are several such incidents world over where rights of rivers were established, and we are supposed to advocate for the rights of the rivers. So unless we realize, and there is one important judgment from Gujarat High Court I would like to mention, it's a very, very important judgment. What it says is, those industries who release effluent pollutions into the river should be deprived of water and power. Water and power. So that is the punishment. And second punishment is name and shame. Declare that this is the river, this is the industry which is spoiling the rivers. This is the industry which is spoiling the rivers. So naming and shaming is one method of protecting the rivers. And one more point I would like to tell you, we worship Ganga with Harati every day. 3 hours or 4 hours it goes. But we are dumping crores of rupees to cleanse it. Are we really cleaning it? So these are all the questions we should raise and we should question. And every political party, what is the purpose of Manifesto of river rights here? Every political party should have rights of rivers as part of their manifesto. And they should promise to the people before they ask for votes that they are going to protect the rivers. Then only we can protect the rivers. This is one of the methods of protection of the river. Last point I'd like to tell you, directive principles of state policy in the Constitution are not advices. They are not recommendations. They are directives. You know what is the meaning of directives. Look at the language that was used by the Constitution. Directive principles of state policy. That means when you are drafting a policy for the state, you must ensure that what is written in directive principles of state policy constitute your policy. But we are considering as a useless piece of paper. The necessity of understanding the constitutional provisions of protecting the constitution of the rivers and constitution of the protection of nature of the rivers, and then we include in them in the manifesto of all the political parties who are going to contest and demand your votes. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank Thank you so much, Sridhar ji, and I stand corrected. No, yes, thank you so much. I think you have given us a lot of food for thought. Huh? No, bilkul. As an information commissioner, it should be. Yes, it is. Right to write it. Yes. So thank you so much. I think you have given us a lot of food for thought, and also why we need to have legal protection as well as people's force behind to see that the laws are, the legal directives are implemented and executed. I'd now like to invite, moving on to the discussions on the River Manifesto, I would now like to invite our great friend, Vinod Bodhankar ji, to explain what are the highlights, the 20 points that the manifesto will include, which you are proposing in front of this gathering. And I would request you to do that in 10 minutes. Yes, you can.
Thank you. Seated on the dais here, and also seated across in this auditorium, we are all children of the river. When the first time we heard about the history very clearly told us, river is the mother of civilization. Just yesterday, my mother was in hospital, physically my mother, 92-year-old. And I had the experience of taking a spoon and feeding her. And I realized that sometimes when mother takes care of us, there comes a time when we have to take care of mother. Now, if it is true that all the people of India are the children of the rivers, which are our mothers, then how many children will we need to set back our rivers, which are now not feeling well? When my mother was not well and in hospital, all the three brothers have run together and we are looking after her. How many children are required to look after my mother? All her children. 3 brothers and 1 sister, we all rushed in. We have so many rivers. Ganga, Yamuna, Sindhu, Brahmaputra, Mahanadi, Narmada, Tapi, each of them is our mother. Really, this is a historic occasion in which we are not really only the people here and only the people there. Whom do we represent? We represent ourselves as the children of all these rivers, and the rivers are not feeling well. If rivers are the mother of civilization and they gave birth to our civilization, and if they are not feeling well, then we are looking after a reform which is civilizational reform. हम कहते हैं सिंधु नदी संस्कृति के बारे में जैसे कि वो मृत संस्कृति है। आज तो कृष्णा नदी की जीवंत संस्कृति के हम लोग हैं, गोदावरी नदी की जीवंत संस्कृति के हम लोग हैं। ये सोचकर कि हम सब मैनिफेस्टो आपके आगे रखने वाले हैं, पॉलिटिकल पार्टी आके जब मैनिफेस्टो रखती है, व्हेन अ पॉलिटिकल पार्टी प्लेसेस अ मैनिफेस्टो बिफोर अस, वी क्लियरली नो दे नीड आवर स्ट्रेंथ. दे नीड आवर स्ट्रेंथ वेरी टेम्पररीली. वोट के वास्ते उनको टेम्पररी स्ट्रेंथ चाहिए. आज ये जो मैनिफेस्टो है ये टेम्पररी स्ट्रेंथ के बारे में नहीं है. ये मैनिफेस्टो सुनने के बाद ध्यान में रखे कि अभी फॉर द रेस्ट ऑफ लाइफ, for the rest of life, we need the strength of all the people of India. Now, how are we going to gather this? At least we have to name the 2 teams. One is Indian Himalayan River Basin Council, which hopes to gather all the children of the rivers which flow from the Himalayas. The second team, which is being called by the manifesto, please, I will remind you, a manifesto calls for the strength of the people. A manifesto comes during the time of election because they need the strength of the people. Now, whom do we represent? A political party? No. We represent that mother about which the speaker before me, my honored brother over here, spoke about the same rivers. We represent those rivers and we give a call to all the people of India under 2 names: Indian Himalayan River Basin Council, Indian Peninsular River Basin Council. Just 3 years ago, I want to remind everyone of that again. We were in Jodhpur where we were asked to introduce ourselves. I remember saying that I am from the Krishna River. I remember Prakash Rao also saying he's from the Krishna River. Identity badal gaya. And then he announced over there within 3 minutes, I admire that very much, Prakash Rauji, I can see you seated there. He announced there that within that same year in this hall, we called the people of 4 states: Maharashtra, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, and Telangana. And in the same hall, the brotherhood between these 4 states, where the identity is Krishna River, is extended within these 3 years. Perhaps because of the pandemic it is delayed. Now I'll come to the issues on which all the states have to sit together. Himalayan rivers have a different nature, a different geology, a different geohydrology, and a different cultural basis also. The peninsular rivers are a little different. They are not snow-fed. What does this mean? All the children of all these rivers will have to share their experiences. How do we share the experience? If I have the experience of Krishna River, Narendra Bhai has the experience of Godavari River, if they are different, and someone has the experience of Ganga River, then we must have a manifest. A manifest is a list. It's just a list. We must have a list about the river that we ask everyone to speak about. Till now, I've experienced over the last 10 years that we take the suggestions from the people and in 2 days we try to summarize it. This time, if you see a paper has been handed over to you, it is in order to gather your experience about your river in your region. And this starts not just the manifesto, but the process of consulting everybody in India to find out what is it that the government has on priority in Ganga, what is it that the people in the NGOs are saying, what is it that the people who lose their homes to the shifting Kosi River, what do they want? How do we gather the status of the river report? The paper which is given to you, I'm going to just touch on 2-3 of those things there. In order to share our experience about our river, in order to bring forward a manifesto which says that we stand for these rivers, but we must have a very thorough understanding of each river, the profile of the river, the status of the river, वहाँ कौन-कौन काम कर रहा है, who has proved that they are the children of the river, and we start gathering these people. The brief outline of the subjects in the proposed River Basin Manifesto. Please remember this, though we have been asked to complete the manifesto today or tomorrow, the subjects themselves require at the least 2 months of preparation. So how is this consultative process going to happen? I'm going to just place this before you. The details of what will be the subject of consultation will be placed by all the people over here. The process is going to happen the second time when we will talk about the manifesto is in Delhi on the 14th and 15th of April. Now what happens between today and the 14th and 15th of April is that the manifesto paper which has been given to you, not only will you try, it is a request and prayer to you, try to give us a feedback on each of the points today and tomorrow. At the same time, this freedom to give us the feedback is there open till 31st March. I remember that in none of our sessions of 2 days, we have given so much time for people to give the feedback. When the feedback comes in, we'll be in touch with you about how we are putting the feedback together, really representing all the rivers of India. Can we put it together in 2 days? So we need your help in recognizing that as the children of the rivers where you come from, please once again study the river. I'm sure most of you are working to rejuvenate the river. Please help us by giving us the status of the health of the mother wherever you live. So the paper given to you, I'm not going to read that, you can read it. The consultative process which begins today, we may have an interim report today or tomorrow, but the consultative process must go on till the 14th and 15th of April. After that, another 2 months are there. IPRBC, IHRBC was formed on 28th April. So I think that there will be a second round of consultations and a third round of consultations. And by the time we come to the 28th of July, we should have a manifesto which becomes a complete representation of the status of the health of our river, all the rivers in India. With this preliminary idea of this being a consultative process, where all the children of the rivers who are present here, we need your input because all the children are needed when mother is sick. So with this much of a preliminary, I hand over the Sutradharita to Indiraji. Thank you.
Thank you, Vinod ji. आपने
दोस्तों, श्रीधर ने और विनोद ने, यदि इन दोनों को देखो तो एक ने कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल और दूसरे ने कल्चरल जो विजन है आपके मैनिफेस्टो के लिए, उस सबको यदि आप ध्यान से देखोगे तो दो बातें निकल के आ रही हैं कि नदियाँ कभी भी किसी पॉलिटिकल और एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव बाउंड्री में नहीं बनती थी, नदियाँ कल्चरली भी नहीं बनती थी। ऑल सिविलाइजेशन अपनी आज़ादी से उनके साथ रहती बनती थी। इसलिए यदि मैनिफेस्टो बनाना है तो फिर हमें कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल और कल्चरल चीज़ों को रिवर की सिविलाइजेशन और कल्चरल रिलेशनशिप के साथ जोड़ना और कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के साथ जोड़ना। यदि आप इन दोनों के साथ मैनिफेस्टो नहीं जोड़ोगे तो आपका मैनिफेस्टो में जो आप करना चाहते हो वो अपने लिए नहीं बनाओगे, वो फिर किसी और के लिए बनाओगे, सरकार के लिए बनाओगे। हमारा मैनिफेस्टो केवल सरकार के लिए नहीं है, केवल मीडिया के लिए नहीं है, हमारा मैनिफेस्टो हमारे लिए भी है। यदि हमें अपना मैनिफेस्टो अपने लिए बनाना है तब दूसरों पर उसका प्रभाव होगा, तो वो ओरिजिनली उसको प्रभावित कर सकेगा। थैंक यू।
Thank you, Bhaiji. Thank you, Vinod ji. There's just one correction in this paper. Vinod ji said it correctly. We will be meeting on 14th and 15th of April, not 14th and 15th of March. There's a slight change in the program. पहले तो था कि हम लोगों को 5-5 मिनट अभी सुनेंगे, but I think we are getting delayed over lunch. So let us break for lunch now, and then we will come back. Prakash ji, what time?
Yeah, about 2:30, and Mementos of Sridhar, Basin.
Okay. Okay, so we will come back after taking lunch at 2:30, where we will continue the discussion on the River Manifesto. Meanwhile, and even later, please put your suggestions in the other side of this paper and hand it over to us so that we can include your points as we go ahead in our discussion. I'd now like to request Bhaiji to give a memento to Sridhar ji.
Please come.
इस मोमेंटो के साथ श्रीधर को बांध रहा हूं इस बात के लिए कि हमारे मैनिफेस्टो का ड्राफ्ट विनोद और ये सब पूरी टीम तो करेगी, लेकिन पहली कॉपी हमारे श्रीधर बना के देंगे अंग्रेजी में। थैंक यू वेरी मच। उन्होंने आपको अंगूठा दिखा के कह दिया कि हम आपके साथ हैं। वेरी गुड, थैंक यू वेरी मच।
एक बार पकड़िए फोटो के लिए।
लंच के बाद, लंच बहुत लेट हो रहा है।
Sir, before we are breaking for lunch, I would like to say something about Madhabushi Sridhar garu. He is a great activist. He is, I know him as Commissioner of Information, Right to Information. He used to give such valuable advices to various people. The ruling party is so much annoyed. They want to remove him at the earliest possible from the chair because he is always pro-poor and pro-environment. He is a real good activist. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, and everyone, I am requesting to have lunch in the ground floor, cellar. Yeah. 2:30 again we have to gather here. 2:30. Sir, Bhaiji, आप आइए. आप आइए. आप आइए.
तुम यार ये सवाल उड़ाते हो, चलो ठीक है.
यार రండి. తమిళనాడు వాళ్ళతో. యా. ఓకే. కప్పండి.
తమిళనాడు యునైటెడ్
Thank you, Tamil Nadu United Farmers Association. Thank you very much. Kalyani ji, aap niche ho. Yeah.
See, Vayyapuri followers.
Thank you. Okay. Rajendra Singh ji, please give it to him. He is from Vijayawada, giving plant to Dr. Rajendra Singh ji. Gandhi garu meer akkade unnaru. Yeah. Okay. Sir, let us.
चलो खाना के लिए जल्दी